Hey everybody, welcome back to the Goodest cast. And if it's your first time, hey, nice to have you here. On this episode, we have Jordan Tweedie, Team GOGO, Tweed Auto Garage. He's exporting cars. He's drifting an FD RX-7 at Mahon. And you know those GOGO boys got some stories, so we've been meaning to do this one for a while. I'm happy we finally did it, and I'm happy to have you guys with me. So without further ado, check it out. Jordan Tweedie, Jordo GOGO. What's up, everybody? If you know Animal Style, you know our liveries are always wild. Well, the man behind that, D Magic, the man behind all the design work for Super D, he's done stuff for Shirts Tucked In. He's done stuff for drivers, amazing drivers all over the world. He's opening up a store September 27th, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. He's dropping it. So like pretty much right after this episode comes out. And he's put a ton of time and effort into this. It's going to be really cool. You don't want to miss it. So definitely check that out. www.d-magic.us and go run up a tab, support the homies. You know what we do. Tire Streets, Acceleras 651s. I run them. The boys run them. What else do you need to know? Seems like everyone's running them now. If you want a discount, you want to try them out, Goodest 651, 20% off. Get yourself some tires. Get yourself some sticky, icky boys. Pull up on them. Doing wheelies off the line. Three-wheel motion. Take a sip of the potion. Just use the discount code and try the tires. They're great.
All right, man, there we go.
There it is. About time.
No worries.
Yeah, man. So like usually I kind of just like BS and roll into it and kind of edit like wherever it makes sense to.
Yeah. Not true.
But yeah, I haven't seen you since Mahon, I think
Like
maybe 5 years ago.
fucking long time ago, eh?
Yeah. And then there was Super D Japan.
Yeah. I first met you at that like random Mahon track day where Wolf Rain guys were at. Yeah.
I got to drive a couple laps in the rolled over car.
That was bad, eh?
That was the worst car I've like. Okay, not the worst car. This is the most like dangerous car that I've ever driven.
Did you come out the other night like after the incident?
No, I was supposed to, but
okay.
My ex-girlfriend was really tired of me just only doing car stuff when we were there because it was supposed to be like a datey trip and not like a go find all the sub drifting like underground drift shit and all of Japan the entire time I'm there, which was
fair enough,
heartbreaking because that was like the one thing that I wanted to do.
I'm sure if I went like overseas and freaking took my wife to like all these like freaking street drifting things, she'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this is what you do at home. I hate this.
Right? But yeah, a certain man was very fast in that car even after it was rolled. Surprisingly.
Unsurprisingly. I rode with I don't know if it was the same person we're talking about. It's probably not the same person we're talking about, but I did ride with Naoki in that car after I drove it.
Yeah, and definitely not the same person.
Yeah. And I definitely like that was like the moment when I was like, I'm not good at drifting. Like I thought I was good until that very moment. Because I was like, oh, I tried to drive it and I could like do the infield, but like the entry was scary and like the front felt like really loose and like wanted to push a lot. And then I was just like, word like door to door every run, like 90 on the wall. And I'm like, oh, like car doesn't matter at all.
Dude, it's crazy, eh? Like been like in like the biggest piece of shit car with him there, and it's just like doesn't matter. He just like the angle might not be as much if it's not like his like pro car, like not pro car, but like his like sit up car, but it's still like insane every single round.
Oh yeah. I
So
mean, like it was crazy. I wish I had like my phone out the whole time, and like there's like glass like from the shattered windshield like hitting me in the eyes, and the driver doors like flopping around because it like didn't close anymore. And there's a video I just found of me riding passenger with Naoki in the car that I drove. And like you can see him
true.
like transitioning and the door like flies open and then he transitions back and the door closes.
Fuck. Dude,
I
it's the
think I was
Wild West here, eh? Like freaking shit like that. Like I don't know about like over in America, but like if it was
oh
like
that would
home in New
never
Zealand,
fly.
like no way.
Yeah, I think you guys like New Zealand's even more strict it seems.
Dude, it's like getting like more and more strict from what I hear. Like
And
yeah, need like those like Hans device things and
yeah, when we went out there we
roll
needed them.
cages and all sorts of that. Yeah,
We had to like rent them from
I
the track shop, like the pro shop at the track. They like rent them and it was like I hated it because you can't really like look left or right. It's kind of dangerous.
yeah, it's real sketchy. Like my car there just had like a standard seatbelt, like a road car one.
Hmm.
And if you had that, you could have like a little like foam neck brace thing, so you could still like look around and drive properly. But
Isn't
yeah,
it
like
weird
those
that
other
that's like?
things,
Isn't that weird that like the stock seatbelt means that you can like have like less safety
yeah, it doesn't
stuff?
make any sense. But I guess because like the Hans device doesn't work unless you've got
Two
the
straps.
harnessing,
Yeah,
so it's like kind of pointless without. But
yeah.
yeah,
How long have you been living in Japan now?
uh, like since I've been back, it's been like 3 years, but I've kind of been like here on and off like since the first time I met you, probably like 2016. I like lived there and went back to New Zealand for a bit, but was like traveling in between, and then like finally moved like I think it was end of 2019.
Yeah, and so you're married now and you can stay there. You have a
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
You're
married, stay here, have a business, all pretty freaking locked down.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're doing it.
yeah, gone in deep now.
What like what led you to like deciding like I'm gonna stay here? Like this is I need to live in Japan.
Uh I don't know. I guess it like just kind of like escalated, honestly. Like met my girlfriend at the time in New Zealand. She was there for a working holiday. And then at the time I was like, oh yeah, we'll like coming back and forth. And then I was like, oh, we'll just like move over. And then went over, like felt it out again. Like already knew I like living in Japan because obviously driving and everything else. So already knew I liked it there. So we just kind of went played it as is, and then yeah, ended up getting married, and then blah blah blah, start business, and then yeah, here we are. So it just all kind of escalated. To be honest, was never really like anything set.
Yeah, and like as I don't know, as someone in your situation, like starting a business is the only way to really have enough funds to pursue the car stuff heavily.
Yeah, like unless you've got like some like special unique skill where you can get hired in like maybe like an overseas run company in Japan,
Hmm.
maybe IT or like engineering or something like that. Without that, it's pretty limited, and obviously salary isn't going to be very good. So yes, the only way is unless you go that route is start a business or kind of like make do with the lower wages. But yes, I don't know. Freaking, well, when I first moved here, I was doing English teaching and stuff, and it was like no money. So
That's what I
it's like
hear.
pretty much like the only way to get in like a decent amount of driving is go hills all the time, which obviously like probably isn't like the best idea, but like
teaching
if you
teaching
want to go
English by
driving,
day, hills by night.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like there's only like so much like going to the circuit you can afford if you're doing that kind of thing. So
Yeah, like what does a track day cost like to go drive Mahon on like a weekday or weekend?
To drive Mahon, it's Mahon's only like open by like track day, so you just can't like rock up there.
Hmm.
So it's I think now it's like 10k yen plus I'd say like a pair of tires would last you easier day, which is another like maybe if you're running something good like 20k, and then gas probably another 10k if you drive the car there. But if you're renting a truck and stuff like that, it adds up. So let's just say you drive your car there, you pay for the entry and stuff. It's like 40k, maybe 50k, which is probably like 400 US
Ish.
dollars.
Yeah, about 400 US. I don't
So
know. I
it's
think
like
right
it's
now
not
it's a
too
little
expensive.
less.
Yeah, it's like pretty decent now.
Yeah. I'm like in a not a place where I can buy a car, but I'm like now like all last year I was like, man, there's like prices are going crazy. I don't and then I now the prices are a little better and I'm like, fuck, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's
But
like the prices have gone up on the cars for sure, and but like still like kind of up and down, just depending on the day. But like for guys in the US, especially like with the exchange
yeah.
rate, it's just like so much cheaper for you guys to buy than anywhere else. It's like pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
And we have like a bunch of inflation going on too, so like our money's worth less here, but it's worth more other places,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting.
Uh,
I don't know. Um, so tell me about like I mean, were you drifting in New Zealand before you came to Japan, or did you go to Japan just to teach English, or what was
um,
like?
yes, I was drifting in New Zealand like ages, like maybe started doing like track stuff when I was around 19, maybe 18. I can't remember exactly when, but like around that period, like late teens, early 20s, but like always had like a rear wheel drive car or something like around like when I was younger at school and stuff.
Yeah,
So yes, when it was like rainy, so
yeah,
like always like wasn't like super interested in it like at the start, but then like I don't know, it's just like another thing, just like escalated. You get like more and more into it, and then but yeah, been doing it for like a long time. And then basically, yeah, the reason I first went to Japan was for drifting. Like English teaching didn't really interest me at all. It was just basically a way to go and drive. Like always wanted to go drive like Mahan and all the tracks in this area. So basically found out like what was it like C's Garage is like local to where I am in New Zealand, and obviously saw Joel do that trip, and I was like, oh, that looks sick. I want to do that, and then basically did like the similar sort of thing.
yeah. I think Joel's a inspiration to a lot of people.
Yeah, right. In
Yeah,
OG.
yeah. Um, so how did you find? I feel like drifting is fairly popular for like the population of New Zealand. Was it pretty out there, or was it kind of hard to find when you were getting into it?
Uh like it's not like super mainstream, but my dad was like always into cars, so we'd have like the like New Zealand performance car magazine and stuff, and it'd have drifting and stuff like that. And then my friends at school were also into cars and stuff like that, so kind of had like sports cars when we were younger. And then you like find out what doing a donut is, like all that kind of stuff, and you see like in a magazine there's some drifting or watch some D1NZ. And then yeah, so I guess it is kind of like fairly accessible. And we had like a lot of because like all our cars are basically imported from Japan, so we have a lot of the old like Japanese cars, Sylvias, Skylines, Sephiros, Laurels, all that sort of stuff. Like we have all of that for a long time, like a lot of it. So all of that was fairly common. So like getting into drifting or like sports cars was like not super uncommon
I
of
see.
like that type. And then when you search about those cars, like obviously drifting comes up, and you find out about it like that, I guess.
You're like, I want to do that.
Yeah, right.
Um,
But, I can't remember exactly like where I first found out about it. It's just like too long ago.
yeah, we're so obviously you're part of GOGO. Like, how did you
Yeah.
meet all those guys? Was it like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
GOGO's kind of from all over, but also New
Kind of.
Zealand.
It kind of people get confused.
Yeah.
So like, it's mainly like New Zealand, but also Toshi is also part of it. So it started when me and Damo were in Japan, and then we're like friends with Toshi as well, and he lived with us for a little bit too. So we all kind of made like the same team. It was kind of just like a joke at first, and then started a team, and it's like New Zealand boys plus like Toshi. So it's like kind of weird. It's like Japan, New Zealand, but like everyone's in New Zealand, and it's kind of like interesting.
Okay, so initially it was the three of you guys, and while you were in Japan, that's how the team name or the team started. And I think I heard a story about where the name came from.
Oh yeah, let me know. See if I can confirm.
Okay, so I was told, and I don't know if this is like accurate, but I was told the name came from like at the clubs in Japan there's like a lot of go-go dancers. And I don't know if like someone told me that the team name came from something to do with that. I don't know all the details, but I could be wrong.
Not exactly. It was more like when we go out driving at the nighttime private circuit places that like most of like Japanese guys and stuff, like before you go for a run, we'll be like go go, and be like kind of like think it's like funny and be like, oh, go go, and then just caught on name that.
Dude, isn't it crazy how like terrible information gets passed around based on like assumptions?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the go-go dancers, but yeah,
that's hilarious.
That's also could
right.
be.
I'm glad that I asked, because just bad information.
I wonder where did that come from?
I can't remember who told me that, but I was like, I don't know if that's it. But here we are. It's been confirmed.
Here we go. Confirmed.
So yeah, like when did like what year was where are you guys staying together in Japan?
I think it was 16 or 17. Yeah. So like a while ago now, but yeah. So like Toshi, like me and Damo moved over together, and our other friend Tyler, who's part of GOGO, and then Toshi was living in Hawaii, and he was like coming back and forth, and then he like moved over basically the same time as us as well, and then all just got along, and then decided to make a team, I guess. It wasn't even decided to make a team. We just like changed like our names on our like Instagram thing, and then
and it was born.
Here it went. It was born.
Yeah, so you guys weren't like trying to, do anything with that. It was just some kind of like.
No, it was more of like just like a joke at the start, and then it was like, it's like kind of cool for a team name, and then just like kept it, and then it stuck.
Yeah,
I guess it's like how everywhere. Most of them started.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's
the
crazy.
Ones that you don't take seriously.
So many places.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like heaps of them at like like events like in the US and like just everywhere. It's like on like the window spot where we all like had it. It's like, what? It's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you're, this like thing that was like a joke team name that then like became a serious thing that people all around the world are like making mini stickers for their like RC drift cars and stuff, and you're like, that's cool.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
It was my mum called me up the other day, and she was like, oh, it was like some like boy racer like tailgating me on the way home, and then she was like, oh, like what an arsehole. I mean, like he like passed her, and it had like a GOGO sticker on it. He's like, who's I don't think it was Damo or Tyler or anyone. Like, who's this asshole? This is my son's team. I was like, oh fuck.
That's too funny.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Don't tailgate Don't tailgate Jordo's mom. That's not cool.
Yeah, right. Whoever that guy is, if he even listens to this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um.
Funny.
Yeah. So you've been living in Japan for 3 years. You've started like an export business. You're doing like the YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Um. Like
Yeah.
that's all obviously to drive more.
Yes, a part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And pay
Yeah.
bills.
And pay bills. Pay bills, and then hopefully get to drive more. But yeah, kind of taking a break this year. For the past few years, haven't really driven like much at all. Just been trying to get set up a bit better.
Yeah, that's always like the thing.
Which
You like have to kind of put the work in to start up the thing that can support you to do the thing that you want to do. But in that time, you can't.
exactly
It's not all.
getting
Yeah.
getting closer now, but like brought the FD for like reason to drive it, and now like since I've brought it to now, like it's just exploded in price. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna wreck this like $30,000 car now.
Yeah, that thing's cool, man. I remember seeing it when you got it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's like deciding between like a Sylvia and that. And I was like, oh, they're about like the same price now. So I was like, oh, I'll just get this, and then
now they're
a few
not.
years later, it's like quadrupled in price. So
Yeah,
not
that's
good for Mayhan anymore.
no. Yeah, you don't see many FDs at Mahon.
No, there's like one other, but it's like full comp car. So yeah, like zero, and probably not going to see any more either. I don't think.
No, not at this point.
Yeah.
Nobody's rolling the dice on Mahon with
Nah,
a car
dude.
like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so what's the plan for Tweed? Like, are you just full time doing that and exporting cars, and like how do you learn how to do that? Like, did you learn from Toshi, or was it like, or I mean, there's like a fair amount of people doing that live there
Um.
that you're in contact with, but was it like hard to set up?
Um. Not. It's not super hard, but like like you've got to know like all the rules and get all the licenses and stuff like that. Probably the trickiest thing is it's pretty capital intensive. So
Yeah,
if I buy a car for a customer, like they'll like send the money, but it might be like a time lag. So could be like if it's like an expensive car, it's like minus $20,000. Or
for
if
a
like two
week.
customers buy a car at the same time, or like a whole bunch, and we're just waiting for that like time gap, it like adds up pretty quickly, especially when it's more expensive stuff. So that's probably the
Yeah,
most tricky thing is managing the uh like time gap between getting the money and paying for the car.
yeah. And are you like not able to have like lines of credit in Japan because you're married? Are you able to have lines of
Um, I've
credit?
I've just funded it all myself. So yeah,
Yeah,
no loans or anything like that. So yes, gotta have like cash in the bank to make sure I don't get any trouble or anything like that.
yeah. That must be pretty stressful.
So yes, a little bit stressful. Last week was a tight one. Brought a few cars last week. It's like, oh fuck. But
Eh,
yeah, no.
it'll
Normally
pay
it all
off.
works out, so it's good.
It'll pay off eventually.
Yeah. But yeah. So kind of been doing like this sort of business like a long time. But opposite in New Zealand, my family business was importing cars from Japan. So I've been doing
Oh,
the opposite
interesting.
side for like, well, my dad started a company like late 80s, early 90s. Um, so been doing it like 20, 30 years. And then basically went in reverse and started doing it in Japan. So yes,
Okay.
kind of had like the main idea of the business and how everything worked, just going the other way around this time.
Did you ever work for your parents like uh for their business? Like did you pick up kind of the other end of it, or you just were around it so much that You know how it
Like
works.
when I was a kid, I was just like around it a whole bunch, and then I started working there part time, on and off, then full time, doing more mechanical stuff, and then I started doing my own thing there, selling just cars out of there that we weren't doing in our main business. So yeah, got to
That's
do
cool.
the import side and the export side,
So
which
you
is
know
kind of
this
good,
well.
kind of good to know both ways.
Yeah, it probably makes it easier to work the export side if you know what it's like on the other end.
Yeah, 100%. Especially when you know like what customers are kind of looking for, because when I was doing import side and we were dealing with a Japanese broker, especially someone who's just like working for a company, they don't really know like what the buyer is looking for as much,
Right.
especially if it's real specific to a country. Like for example, like New Zealand, like there's a whole lot of rules which are really specific for if you can get a car on the road or not, like whether it's been like damaged in a certain spot, or
Interesting.
like let's just say if the car is like good but it's got scratches and like little bits all over it, like if you're selling to a retail customer, obviously you can't sell something which looks like a piece of shit basically.
Yeah.
So like would rather buy a car where like let's just say the front bumper has some scratches on it but the rest of the car is like mint, so you're only painting the front bumper and it's like $200 to paint that, rather than you're doing the whole car
Right.
of little stuff, like just stuff like that, which if you're from like the export side, you're not thinking as much of, because you're not trying to sell the car. But if you're
Yeah.
on the
You're
import
trying
side,
to
you've got to think, yeah, you got to see all the things that are going to negative off the car, which is going to be a cost when you get it into the country.
so the importers would work with you or prefer to work with you because you know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Business.
So yeah, just like little things like that, which you might not think about if you hadn't done it from the other side, where it's like, oh, it's just got a few scratches, it's no big deal. But if you like actually go and price all these things up, it like ends up being a big cost.
I see.
But yeah, just depends the sort of customer and like what they're trying to do, I guess.
So what kind of like kind of want to go let's go back to the driving.
Yeah,
Uh
nah, fair enough. Yeah.
um do you feel like your skills like while you're there teaching English and you're going to the hills, uh
Yeah.
do you feel like your skills increased because of the people that you were driving with, like just being around people of the
100%.
yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Like when I like left New Zealand to go there, I mean like when I came back, it was like insane improvements. Like I don't know, just like driving, like the seat time you get over there, if you want to get it, you can get like every week you can go driving, and it's all technical places with super good drivers. Yeah, I mean like if you're just going hills, which like obviously like not recommending to people to go do that. If you like
No.
have, you can go circuit, like go, but at that time it's just like what it was, and like less responsibilities and all that sort of stuff, so cheap, good for practice, and really technical with some fast drivers. So but yeah, it's kind of like not really good practice for the circuit either anyway, just because of driving style is so different.
It
It's
is
like
different. It's like
it's low.
low angle, high
Yeah,
speed,
pretty
dangerous.
much. It's probably decent for chasing, but if you wanted to learn like the big angle, like flicks and stuff like that, like you're not going to get anything from doing that.
Yeah, there's just not enough width or space or I mean,
Yeah,
you can definitely get the speed, but you're not gonna. You'd have to be. I don't know. Yeah,
yeah. There's like a couple of places where you probably could, but you probably don't want to go in like third gear practicing for Mayhan style entries, like the tight sort of places.
yeah. Have you seen anyone do anything like that?
I've seen some things.
Okay.
You can probably guess her, but yeah, a
Yeah.
couple of people, yeah,
Yeah. I
but different.
I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back eventually when we're allowed to, and I would like to I would like to every time I've gone to Japan 3 times, and every single time I've missed out on uh, the afterwards activities. So
Yeah. Nah, it's freaking something else.
yeah, I just want to
Yeah,
experience it.
Have to go to experience it.
Yeah. Well, and like, yeah, no, you're not going to see it. No one's going to show you anything because
No,
nothing exists from it. It's like this. It's like
pretty
like-
much.
yeah.
But you have no idea when it's gonna be opening next. So like, still there's nothing from Japanese government, which sucks.
Yeah, I think like someone was telling me like the only way to go there is if we go on like this like guided tour and they just like take you around to places. Kind of like
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to compare it to like North Korea, but like it seems like
a little bit North Korea.
yeah, you're like we're gonna take this bus and we're going to this place, and they're like keeping everyone in like this like very like specific
It's
tourism.
so ridiculous when like the rest of the world is open.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I went to Japan, I saw that they had like the like the fever like temperature sensors in the airport,
Yeah,
and I'd never seen those before, and I was like, that's a thing, like you know.
yeah,
I
they're
think,
still going full hard on all that stuff now. I don't know how it is for you guys, but like if we go into a restaurant, we're still going to get like our temperature taken on our forehead or our wrist, and then alcohol spray and masks and the freaking rest of it.
it like let up a little bit. I live in San Francisco, which is like I don't know. There's a lot more people wearing masks like on a daily basis at this point.
Yeah,
It's kind of just like but it's not. It says like they put signs up saying like recommended going into places a lot, but like people just don't anymore
Yeah.
because I don't know. Yeah. What was it like? What was it like being in Japan during COVID?
like honestly, like Japan's like pretty loose with the rules without like wearing a face mask and stuff. Like, and like a few big events getting cancelled, like it didn't really change anything, to be
I
honest.
see. They just didn't want outsiders just coming in, giving
Pretty
everyone
much, like,
COVID.
you can still go to work, you can still go to like shops and restaurants. Like a couple of malls closed down for like 2 weeks and restaurants closed early, but
Interesting.
that was like the most of it. So
Yeah, like here, I went out like the day that they told everyone to stay in because I'm
yeah.
a fucking terrible person. And like it was crazy. Like the streets were empty. Like I'd never seen. It was like a zombie movie. And I'm driving around this big city, and there's just like I didn't see any people for like 30 minutes. It was the craziest thing. It was like the trippiest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, like kind of you like imagine like Japan was probably like I don't know. I can't imagine what like Tokyo was like because obviously you're in like Kansai area.
I was like, yeah, I was Osaka, but I was more like out towards the airport, so I wasn't super city. And now I'm in Shiga, which is like an hour outside of Osaka, next like a big lake.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot more quiet here than Osaka, but yeah, like generally like nothing's changed. Just everyone's wearing masks.
Do you like? Are you like kind of in? Are you like in the mountains a bit, or are you like?
Not like drifting mountains, but like yeah, mountains. It's like behind my house. It's like yeah, it's like all surrounded in mountains. It's like the same area
cool.
where Okiabuki is, like the same prefecture.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like still like kind of far. It's like further to go there than to go Meihan. So
I see.
don't ever really go there. I'm like closer. I'm like to Kyoto side than all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like you're married, business, FD, like do you have plans of other cars? You have a kid? Like what's next for you, dude?
I don't know about that, but I just got an FC, so
Perfect. Even better.
Yeah, and I saw it on Yahoo auctions and had a few beers, and it was going cheap. I was like, "Fuck, this is pretty cheap." It was close, so I chucked a bit on it. I like ended up winning it. So
All right.
told the wife, "I'm going to go pick up an FC."
What are you gonna do with this? It's gonna be
Um,
streetcar, drift car.
like initially wasn't really sure, to be honest. Like either sell it or use it as a drift car. It's got no papers, so and it wasn't running, so got it running and slowly getting it all sorted out. So um, I've just done knuckles to it now, and then just doing maintenance and stuff like that. So no papers is pretty much like, and it's like a bit of a piece of shit. So it's kind of perfect for Mayhem. So
Yeah.
go take it out, see if I like how it feels, and then if I like it, I'll probably keep it. If I don't, I'll probably just sell it and get a Sylvia.
What did you how did you feel about the going from the Sylvia to the FD? Like what were the changes there? Did you have to like
Um,
adjust driving style? Was it familiar?
they're
Like
they're honestly like kind of similar, but like completely different. Like the
mm,
chassis is light, like a Sylvia. It's good balance because it's got like a small engine, like further back, like kind of like
yeah,
a SR
yeah.
Sylvia. Where like similar size, FD is a little bit shorter. But probably the main difference is the engine doesn't make as much power down low. Like there's no torque, so that's one thing that's kind of hard. And then they make a lot more traction as well. So you've got to keep it like really up in the rev range, and then it's got a smaller power band, so it's a little more challenging to drive in that respect. But I don't know, I find them way more fun to drive, but probably for Mayhan or like for a drift car, I think Sylvia is probably better.
Yeah, there's something about like the mechanical grip and the power band being all up top. Like you really have to push the car to keep it.
Yeah, it's
And
a
which
little bit
it's
tricky.
yeah, and for like a not super technical course, it's like easier or like I
Yeah,
can't imagine that thing in the hills. Like it's probably a handful.
yeah, it's fast.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet.
And I took it to Mayhem once last year for I think it was last year, yeah, for Kensei All-Star qualifying.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty hard, eh? Like you'd do the entry and you'd flick, and when you'd flick back and go down to second, I don't know if like maybe like I could have gone to a shorter gearing or something, but it's just what I had there. There's just like no power in second. It's just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Just
you're just
trying to
trying to
clutch
make it.
kick it in like second, and it's just like going nowhere. So that's probably
Yeah.
the trickiest thing.
What size tire do you run on it?
It's got a 265, just a normal Kenda on the back, and then a 235 on the front. And even with that, it's still heaps of grip.
Yeah, they have like a
So
crazy amount of mechanical grip. I've driven one on like 235s. I drove an FD on 265s and they
yeah,
were like triangles. I don't know if you've ever used triangles, but they're like
they're like
ice.
ice, yeah.
Yeah. Uh and it still had like a very decent amount of grip and I was like, wow.
Yeah. When I first got it, I just like took it out for shakedown, and it had like, I don't know how old they were tires. They were 265s, but they were like rock hard, cracks all through them, and it was still like plenty of grip.
Yeah.
Wet or dry, I was like, oh, what the fuck? Yeah, 265, like compare that to like a stock Sylvia on this car. It's like night and day different. I think
Yeah.
like the main place you notice it where is like where you're kind of exiting a corner, they pick up way faster. Obviously, like a
Mm,
mix between them having like good like traction and rear suspension, and then also I'd say like having less torque probably means they're not braking traction as easy as well.
yeah. Yeah, the I've found yeah, on the E36 because of the trailing arm setup at like shallow angle, the car is like very
Yeah,
fast. So you can like if you like shallow angle, you can like surge really easily. But then like it's kind of interesting. Like there are differences. Like I drove Jason's car recently,
Yeah.
and there's like this thing that you can do where you like load the car up and like flick it, and it'll just like sit at that like perfect like dead slide, but also like carrying speed. And
Yeah.
I'm
Is
like,
that Jason's car?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like okay, I kind of missed that. Like
I feel like that's like the that like knuckle and big spaces setup which does it, I feel like.
yeah, yeah, his car is probably the best it's ever been. The last time I drove it,
Really?
I've driven it through the years, and it's I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I changed like when I first moved to Japan, like the like big spacer thing wasn't really like as common. And now like
Hmm.
everyone runs it like the big scrub radius and all that. When
Yeah,
I first went to that, it's like just makes the car like super, super easy to drive. Like you just like chuck it to lock and it just like sits on it, just like keeps going.
yeah,
Like full gas and it doesn't spin.
yeah. It's kind of nice because you have like all that scrub makes the steering lighter, but then
Yeah.
also you like take the caster out, and then you can like really like put the wheel where you want it. Like it's there's a lot of like debate on it over here. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm
Like
sure
a lot of
like
people don't like it, yeah.
I think they just don't. I think it's like people look at it as like this like, oh, that's like old way of doing things. It's like old
Yeah.
technology. Like why would you go like backwards? But it's like there's something there.
It works.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
especially it depends on the type of driving you want to do also. Like
Yeah, that is well, I think. I think for like I guess like the type of driving we like the like Mahan style, the big flick and keeping it on the gas. Like, I think that's probably the best.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't see any other steering setups where you can do that same driving. So
Yeah. I I can like early throttle a bit on my car, but not like when I drove Jason's car. So there's some fine tuning to be done.
yeah, because the E36 makes like a lot more grip than a Sylvia. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's like honestly, it's an easier chassis to set up. Like you don't have to really do much because it's a trailing arm.
yeah,
Like you can like slam it, and the control arms are like this long, so
yeah,
it doesn't really like get any like camber or toe gain. Um, it's it's great. It's great for some things, but there's also like some I definitely need to work on the steering setup. I've been like messing with it for
yeah,
as long as I've had the car, and it's great. Like it drives really well. It's almost like a cheater car, honestly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've driven one like not like a good one, but I had one like in New Zealand like a few years ago. And, like they're pretty good to drive. They handle real nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a grip, good steering.
yeah, like I kind of like heavy steering. I'm weird. I like to like have to fight the wheel a lot. I don't
Yeah,
know why. And they have heavy steering. The I found out that the M3s have like a progressive steering rack, so like as you go to lock,
okay.
they like speed up. And so I've been driving with that for so long. It's like now I get in like a S chassis, and if I'm like chasing someone and I need to like pour on some angle to like stay kind of behind them, like it doesn't do it as quickly like later in the
True, that's interesting.
yeah. Um
I didn't realize that.
yeah.
So like if you're like at big angle, like you don't really like need to turn like much at all. It'll just like go like
Yeah. The front rack's
true.
nice. Like on the FD, like you never over center.
Yeah. Same with I feel like FC is probably like kind of similar to a BMW, like the McPherson front rack. And then the rear is like a traily army thing, but like different.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean they're both very quick track cars
Yeah.
with minimal setup. So like I do think that they have some similarities. All like RX-7s are just generally quick and have a lot of grip. Is there
Yeah, pretty crazy.
did anyone give you a hard time about getting rid of the Sylvia and going to the RX-7?
Not really. Like, kind of like why did you choose this?
Mm,
But other than that, I guess like everyone like kind of likes RX-7, so it's like, oh, it's cool.
yeah.
But yeah, I've still
Especially
got my
FDs like,
Sylvia.
oh, you do?
Yeah, and I've still got my Sylvia in New Zealand. So yeah, really want to
Okay.
drive that again. It's TD06, got all the good steering and
Yeah.
pretty much set up, good to go.
Yeah. Go back and drive with the boys.
Yeah, I'll probably drive it and be like, oh fuck, I need this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got like the perfect car for Mayhan, but like it's over on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've got these stupid RX-7s here, so
Just switch it, dude.
should I?
Just import export each car.
Right. Uh,
When's the last time you guys all got to drive together? I know Toshi probably wasn't in New Zealand, but
um, fuck, I don't know. Like with all the New Zealand boys, like
Mhm.
years now, literally years.
Because you probably haven't been able to go over there because of COVID.
No, I haven't been back once, so hoping to maybe go into this year. I mean, I don't know if I get a chance to do some driving, but I haven't driven with them in ages. I drove with Toshi at the start of the year, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he
Dude
was
is so
out.
quick, eh?
Yeah,
That freaking shit situation he's in at the moment, and
yeah. He was like only out for like a month or two, couple months.
yeah, so I guess let him go into all of that once he's finally got everything sorted. But yeah, fucking poor dude.
Yeah, that's a wild situation.
Yeah, freaking crazy. But yeah, dude can drive though.
Yeah, I just did a podcast with an FD driver, not
Oh
Formula
really?
Drift, but RX, FD RX-7 driver. Yesterday, that's not out yet, but it will be out before this one.
Yeah.
And he brought up Toshi like 5 times. He's like, I put on his stuff, gets me hyped like before I go drive. I'm like, all
Do you
right.
mind saying who it is?
Yeah, it's a Angry Earl.
Ah, true. Yeah, I've talked to him a few times online.
Yeah.
Uh, FD stuff. Fuck. Sure, he's a
Yeah,
good driver. Eh? Fuck, he's been around for a long time. Eh, doing RX-7 stuff.
he's
An
an
OG.
OG. Big time OG.
Yeah.
He was like
Yeah.
one of the cool
Seeing.
guys at the track when I was starting out, so
Oh, he's local to your area. Yeah.
he was when I was starting, yeah.
Yeah.
Um
True.
hey, I mean, yeah. Do you
But yeah,
know
no,
like um yeah, I don't know. Like what is I'm trying I don't I probably should have asked you beforehand if I can
yeah.
like ask questions about like the Toshi thing and we can like edit it out if that's not
Yeah.
um I'm sure
Yeah,
you
like ask, but yeah, maybe don't put it in because I don't want to like talk on his behalf. Rather let him
yeah.
decide, like say for himself, like all the stuff. Because like one, I don't really know, and I don't want to say stuff that's not true or
Yeah. Okay. I
yeah,
won't ask questions.
yeah,
We'll let him tell his story,
yeah. It's all
however and
good.
wherever he wants to do that.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'll have something to say when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. He seems like he really wants to let everybody know, but he can't.
Mm,
I'm curious. It's like one of those like worst like nightmare situations, like
yeah,
being in jail in another country. I can't imagine.
that's crazy. And like, it's been some crazy rumors with him too. Like when he was like first away, there was like all these people like commenting on his posts saying like, oh, he's gone away for this. He was running like a drug cartel and freaking blah blah blah. So like some like random like kids. It's like, how do you even like know anything?
Yeah.
So
people love the
it's pretty
drama,
funny.
man.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Well, we won't talk about that anymore. I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone wants to fucking hear about it, but I don't want to. Yeah, we'll let them tell
Dude,
the
like the
story.
amount of messages I got like about that, it's like for a while it was like almost like every day or every week. It was like, hey
Really?
man, like, do you like what's happening with Toshi? Where's Toshi? Blah blah blah.
And you're like, this is not my
Like, it's
not
not
my
my
place.
not
Yeah.
my place. And like I don't think Toshi even knows what's going on right now.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine. I had people ask me.
Really?
I'm like, how the fuck would I know?
Yeah.
Like, I met him in Japan like twice, but I'm not like that tapped in with like his
Yeah.
life, like I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah.
People want to know because it's like a mystery.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And it's like been going on for so long now. They're like, oh, just like please let me know what happened.
Yeah, I mean it's been like
You know?
it's been like a year or 2 years now. Like it's been a minute.
Yeah, no. Dude, it's fucked up what's happening to him though. Like the way the Japanese like system works. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to you about it later, but yeah, no,
Yeah.
pretty
all
wild.
right. Anyway, driving. Yeah, Duke can drive for
Driving.
sure. What we all want to do.
Right. But yeah, what are you guys planning to I know Julian's got a car over here, and are you guys planning to get cars over here too, like the rest of the team, or
Jason's building a car to send over there eventually.
yeah.
I am. I made some life changes, and so like I gotta. I was planning on getting a car over there, or like sending a car over there, and I probably will eventually. I just gotta get through this next little bit of life, and then it's. I mean, it's my dream. Like I want nothing more than to be able to go over there and drive, because the last time I went over there and I drove terribly, and I've been like, Mayhan humbled me, Naoki humbled me, obviously, like, but like not even just that, like just random people there, like having a day that I've never seen before on the internet, probably who don't even have social media, that just like blew my mind. And I'm like, oh, this is where you level up. And so like watching all you guys, driving out there and just getting better and better, all of us who want to drive like that, who can't do that, are like, fuck, like just want to.
Welcome to whenever you're over next, come take the FC out as long as it's going. But yeah, like I guess like probably like having your own car is like you'd feel so much like you'd want to like be able to push more and like get comfortable with it and set it up like how you like, which is probably like the hard, like frustrating thing when you've been over and driving other people's cars. It's like one, you don't want to like wreck it, and two, it's like it feels like all weird, and it's like only like a few laps to get used to the thing.
Yeah,
like,
and by the time you're comfortable in it, like they're like, all right, like I've seen enough, like you're done. And you're like, come on, let me do like 10 more laps, please. Let me get one, But
especially somewhere like Mayhan too.
Like letting somebody borrow a car at Mayhan, like I would have a hard time doing that. I would have a hard time handing somebody the keys there.
Mayhan is bad news.
Yeah, I mean it's like you either enter or you don't. Like it's a full commitment course. I'm just happy it's like starting to get like, I don't know, the, there's like now he going and like dominating D1 has like validated all of the things that we've all been feeling because we like have seen that like skill and like what that like course brings and like the level of driving in the Kansai area and like just like the 10-year like obsession for me of like that like style and then going and seeing like just like sweeping professional drifting in Japan.
Yeah. It's funny as well because like years ago, like probably like when you were like first looking at like Mayhan stuff, like no one would have given a shit about it. And now that Naoki's winning everything, it's like,
Right. Yeah, there's like the respect that he's
yeah.
owed, I think, is like finally coming his way as far
And
as
dude,
like
he's
driving.
winning. Yeah, he's like winning everything now. Like last week, like a couple of days ago, there was a competition, like won that. It's like
Yeah.
whatever it is, it's like win, 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 win.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising, but like glad it's all kind of pieced together for him. Like car's good. Like obviously the driving's there, and like
What do you
finally
think of
getting all the recognition.
people think about the V8 Wisefab car has had so many group chats on fire over here.
Yeah,
And it's just like I don't know, like it doesn't really bother me like as long as the driving's there. Um
yeah. I don't really care too much, but
yeah.
I'd say like it's probably actually you'd think it'd be more suited for like the type of driving because it's like a lighter engine and it's further back, even though
Yeah.
it's like a V8 and like no one likes V8s, blah blah blah. But you'd think it'd be like better for that type of driving than what a 2J would, where it's way more front heavy.
Yeah.
So especially like in an S chassis. But I don't know. I don't think there's been too much hate in Japan. I think there's something different. Like a lot of people are all stoked on it, but
Cuz
I'm
it's
pretty sure
cool.
he's pulling it out anyway.
Is he?
He was like there was one like can't remember whose video it was on YouTube, maybe D1 or like some of the like Japanese YouTuber, but he was saying like they were gonna pull it out, I think, and put a 2J back in it just for simplicity because they work, they know about them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like this. I wonder, yeah, I don't know what like standalone it's running or anything. Like wonder if they're running like a Holly or something. That'd be crazy.
I think it's got a Heltec ECU in it, maybe.
Okay. That's like this
Yeah, I
the
think it's an Australian one.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I think I'd say like if it was in America, you'd probably be fine. But I guess there's just like not enough support and
Yeah, like where do you
knowledge
go
for
get
that here.
coil
I think
packs
it's
or
like a lot
whatever?
harder. Yeah,
Like, oh, we need a coil pack. You're like, uh
yeah. It's just like not much data here in Japan for that sort of thing. But in America, obviously, like you guys have been doing that forever, like outside of drifting. So
yeah, push
it's like
rods.
common. Yeah. So it's not
Now they
cool,
don't even
but
swap them. They just drift the Corvette with the motor in it.
yeah, right. I wonder like why people weren't doing that like a while ago.
I think the cars were more expensive.
Yeah, that
So they
makes
started to
sense.
get cheaper. And like I think I don't know which one. I don't know what body style the first one with the LS is. I think it's the C5.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, those were kind of big money, and now they're like they were cheap for a minute, and now they're like super expensive again.
You know, I thought
So
they're like real expensive. I mean, like see all these people buying them for drifting. So, oh shit,
I mean, it's like what
kind of makes
spend
sense.
15 grand on a Corvette or 15 grand on a stock KA S14.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially like now, like it just makes like more sense
Yeah,
just to get that.
yeah. Like everything's going up. Drifting's
I feel
getting
like
very, very popular in the US. Like in the last like 2 years, it's I would say like doubled in popularity.
really,
Yeah.
why do you think that is?
Rap videos, YouTube,
Yeah,
uh, LZ, uh, just
just like a mix of it all.
it's like really in the like youth culture right now. TikTok, like all that stuff. it's the kids are like really into drifting. Like now when I tow my car places, like people will give me thumbs up like nonstop. Like
True.
because I just have an open trailer, right? So like people like it used to be like people like look at you like what the fuck is that thing, you know? And
Yeah.
now it's just like people getting hyped because they actually know what it is. They know what it's for.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, like from what I see online, like it looks like it's huge in America now, like bigger than anywhere else.
Yeah. It's gotten
Japan, I don't think it's so much the case. Like there's not many young people into it.
I've been yeah, like you watch the D1 live stream and like the bleachers aren't even full and like
Yeah.
you know, there's like people are like on their phone watching the live stream sitting there. And you're like,
That and then like it's just getting like harder for like young people to get into it here.
yeah. Well, it's because we're buying all the cars.
Yeah, I
And if
guess like
if
yeah,
you're gonna
this
buy
the
the
cost.
cars, buy them through Tweed.
Thanks. Appreciate that little plug.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, there's like yeah, that and I guess like young people just like there's so much more stuff to do and just like doing stuff in Japan is a lot harder with space.
Right. Yeah, and it's just
But,
it's not like I don't know, is it just like not underground anymore? It's like is it uncool in a way? Like because it's been around for so long? Is it like in this like drop down for like
uh, I don't I don't know, but like well, for like street stuff, like that's not really like much of a thing anymore here. Like it's not very
yeah,
popular.
yeah.
It's really frowned upon in the media. So I guess
I think that's what draws kids. That's what draws like youth in is like counterculture, like
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
But no, it's just yeah, I guess like just the cars being more expensive, being like it's not like you can just go buy like a $1,000 Sylvia or 86 anymore and like just get something to fuck around with.
Yeah.
It's like you're buying like a Sylvia, like a million yen car, 10 grand car. And then for like a lot of people in Japan, if it's like a young person, they're making like dirt money. So
Yeah.
it's like a big investment.
I
So
don't know. I'm still
yeah, I don't know.
jealous. Even if it's not popular over there, you still get to hang out with all the OGs and
Oh
the
yeah,
like.
like it's for like young people getting into it, it's not as much, but like all the OGs, like they're still all around, and like all those people are just getting better and better every year. And I'm like, oh my god, like I've taken like 2 years off, and like now we just got like this much better.
I was like, I'm gonna take a break, and I'm really not excited about it because I know that if I take a break for 6 months, like all my friends are just gonna get better in those 6 months.
Yeah,
And so
it's like especially like Mayhan, like it's crazy. Like you go there like for Kansai All Star 1 year and like fuck, how can it get like any more like crazy than this? And then the
in the
next year
next
it's like
year,
another like 10% up, another 10%. It's like, what are they gonna do? And it's
talk
not just
about
like one dude, it's like freaking half the field.
talk about Kansai All Star. Casey qualifying first for
Dude, he did last year as well.
yeah
Dude, fuck, dude, freaking goals right there. Freaking, he's
yeah
killing it.
yeah
And what he's done in Japan is pretty fucking crazy. Like,
absolutely
nah, mad. Like, full respect for the dude, and yeah, massive inspiration for driving.
yeah
It's insane, eh?
yeah. Well, I mean, the cool part, like you get to watch it happen in person. You get to watch his like skill
Yeah,
grow. Like I'm pretty envious of that because he was good. Like when I went and saw him drive, he was good. Like he was like impressive, but he wasn't like he is now. Like now he's like a monster, and you're just like like
yeah.
the level just keeps getting higher and higher, and you're like, like I don't know, I don't
For
know.
this
It's
time,
motivating.
you know, it's crazy. They had like Mahan E-course. You know that old
Mhm.
Mahan track we used to run back in the day?
Yeah.
They had like a day there for like the first time in like a long time, and all the OGs were there, and same with Casey. And Casey was running it better than any event. I was like, what? So that's just like the level he's got to is just insane. But yeah, he puts in the work. He's freaking driving like as much as he can and just pushing for it. So I guess like that's like kind of what you've got to do if you want to get to that level is kind of commit to it 100% pretty much, which he's doing.
Yeah, he knows how to set goals and accomplish them.
Crazy stuff.
I Yeah, I'm trying to drive as much as possible, and I will keep getting better, and I'm gonna keep pushing. But like, I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna be able to catch him, bro. Like yeah,
It's
he's on a path.
insane.
Yeah. Well, and it's like he did all the yeah he played chess. He like did all the things that he needed to do to get to the point where he could drive a lot
Right.
for a long time, and he's like taking full advantage of that. And that's like, you know, we all could we all have the potential to do what he's doing, but he actually went and did it, and that's the cool part.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty motivated to like start driving again and like want some more like really like go at it 100%. Obviously you got like a lot of drivers to motivate me to get better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean you guys have your I don't know. You're doing what he did. You're like building something that's going to be able to support you and your
Yeah.
journey to like drive as much as you can and push yourself. And you got time. I mean, like you look at the OGs, like how long have they been driving? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like has Fujio ever like taken like a 2 year break? I have no idea. It doesn't seem like it because the guy's amazing. Like
Doesn't seem like it.
yeah, no.
Like
That's
none
cool.
of them seem to take like a break. Any of those top dudes, you see them there like every track day at Mayan.
Crazy. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If I
Insane.
yeah, if yeah. You got like it's cool watching like Vito like kill it. And then I don't know,
Yeah,
it's just it's sick watching like all the OGs, like all the OG Mayhem drivers like go out and just like clean up these days. It's like very exciting.
and there's like other dudes at Mahan that just like drive Mahan and do All Star as like the main competition.
Yeah.
And like if you put them in D1 or like anything, but can sweep up.
Yeah.
They like drive like as good as they like can do. They like beat Naoki there sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Who's like a super unknown driver that's like very impressive, or even a couple, or
uh probably I think he's like probably known in Japan, but probably not as much overseas. Have
Mhm.
you seen the dude with the red 180 that sometimes wins All Stars?
Yes.
Called like Heroes. I can't remember his name right now. Lost it, but yeah, like that dude used to drive in D1SL like back in the day, but now just does like Mayhan, and it's pretty much it. Mayhan and All Stars. Like he won like last year maybe, or like he's always like in the top three. That dude is insane, and like the car is super simple. It's just like SR TD06 stripped out, just like the usual steering stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing super
Yeah.
special. Yeah, it seems to be the recipe, like a 400 horsepower car there. Like you can win All Star. Probably not good for big tracks or anything like that, but for
Mm.
Mayhan and around here, it's like that's all you need.
Yeah. I feel like 400 horsepower is good for big tracks.
Yeah, definitely make do, especially if it's those dudes.
Yeah. Um, I've seen, yeah, like I don't know, just like knowing like Semi Tanaka's out there and his like old like one via
Yeah,
like still driving Mahon, like the subframes like loose in the back, and he's still like chucking it in there, like
dude,
it's just so
that
cool.
dude's insane too.
Yeah.
He's got some JZX90 missile as well, and like runs Mayhan like super good at that as well. So it's like I don't think the chassis really matters
Mm,
too much. Like I don't think it needs to be a Sylvia.
yeah.
Same with that dude that drives at 8.6 at Mayhem. It's all pretty much Sylvia.
The one that has the engine bay like spray painted all black,
Yeah,
like barbecue black.
that dude. Yeah.
You
So
like
I
pop the
don't think
hood
the
and you're
car
like,
matters too much.
I'm like, are you trying to like hide what you've done to this? Like, it's so interesting.
And it's funny because that dude like used to have like a show car looking 180 drift car back in the day, and now it's like full opposite.
No way.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm over it. Like, get the like get the black flat black spray paint. We're
Dude, I
going to
guess
town.
so.
When I saw him
Pretty
pop the
sure.
hood, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Like
Yeah. Like if you lost
just
hardware,
no
you lost
care.
the
I just fucking.
if you
So there's a
lost the
bit of
bolt.
rust there. I'll freaking paint it black.
But he was crazy fast. Like that's the guy who won Super D Japan.
Yeah.
The tandem comp.
Yeah. No. Insane. I'm like that car is super simple too. Like it's just like low mount turbo on an SR. I'm not sure exactly what turbo it is. Probably maybe like 300, 350 horsepower car, probably. Just light, good driving.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of like the idea for the FC is to make it light and having no papers, just try get real good in it.
Yeah. I like this. Um do the OGs like help you with technique at the track, or do you guys like talk setup, or is like what how does it like what's a typical like practice day like? Are people helping each other out, or
Um, Sometimes you get little pointers, but normally they'll like make you figure it out on yourself on your own.
Alright.
Yeah. No,
So yeah, that's how it is for us.
just figure it out on your own.
Well, like sometimes I'll go to Julian. I'll be like, "Hey, man, like, what do I do here?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know, just like go faster." Like, okay,
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't think people. I think it's all like it becomes like second nature, so it's like almost harder to like talk about technique and like
Yeah.
I've gotten kind of bad at explaining what I'm doing. I used
Yeah,
to like think about it a lot.
I think for me anyway, like the best thing is just like watching onboards and
Yeah,
out car, like of like someone that's really good at that
yeah,
course. For like Mayhan example, like Naoki, you can see like the way he enters. But like those other dudes I talked about before, the dude in the 8.6 and that Ready 180,
yeah.
they all like enter different, but it all looks pretty similar and like just as aggressive.
Isn't that interesting? I've like noticed that. Um, not even at just at Mahon, but like amongst like my teammates and friends and like other people that I've driven with. Sometimes like you'll enter with like a completely different technique, but you'll still end up like next to each other without
Yeah.
like having to really like adjust much.
So it's kind of funny. Like I guess you can get there like the same way. I think Naoki's one is like more aggressive looking from what I've seen. It's like for like Mayhan, it's like flick, like do like the little flick, like to load up the car.
Yeah.
And then when you flick it the other way, it's clutch kick, and then like right on the brake and handbrake, and then like only like a little bit, and like a little bit weight, and then like dump it and go. Whereas like some other good guys, it's like the same like little flick to like load up the car, and then when they flick it the other way, they don't. I think they don't seem to do clutch kick or anything. They just seem to like pull the handbrake and foot brake, and it seems to get the same thing.
Hmm.
So I think yeah, mainly the foot brake and the handbrake is probably what makes it like spin fast, and then I guess get off it fairly quickly.
Yeah, lock the rear so it slides and slow down the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, big technique stuff.
Yeah. But then trying that stuff at Mayhan is kind of scary.
Yeah,
Like fuck that up, like your car's done.
yeah. I guess that's the exciting part of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Driving that in my FD was like super fun, but it's like holy shit, like if I fuck this up, actually did once and like went right back into the wall.
uh,
But
was
it
the
was
car
like
okay,
just like
or was it just?
dented. It was like all good, like just dented the rear quarter like a little bit, but
Mm,
it was like all full of bog anyway, like filler,
yeah,
and then scratched up the front bumper. So I got super lucky.
yeah. If you like touch the wall at all, like, and you drive away from it, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Just get sucked
What
in,
I
and
Yeah, I think what I did was like I held the handbrake too long, like overheated the car, and I went to shift and like miss shift, and then let's like
uh,
keep going back into the wall.
oh, so you hit like the second one with the tires, or did you
Yeah,
hit
not the
the?
first
Yeah.
one,
Okay,
second one with the tires.
that
And I
seems to
was
be
like,
the most
oh,
common.
yeah. I was like, oh, this is why you want to have like the big shifter because like I had like just like some little like round ball one just in the stock position, and like when you like because you're not like caring too much about that when you're driving there, you're just like hitting it with your hand. If you've got a
Yeah.
big one, it's like just like stupid, you just like hit it anywhere and it's like into gear. Whereas like if you have a little one, like you miss it and you like slide off.
So that's I'd watch like in car and I'd be like, dude, these like giant shifters and it like looks like the fucking all the like shift bushings are like smoked because it's like rattling around a
Yeah,
bunch and stuff.
probably
What
are.
yeah, what I didn't realize and was explained to me later was if it's a right hand drive, you're to go from third to second, you just scoop down.
Yeah,
So it's just like a scoop motion and you're like then you're in gear. Um, in left hand drive, you're like pulling towards you.
yeah,
So
it doesn't
like
really work the same, eh?
yeah, you don't really like you can't scoop it into gear. Um,
Yeah,
and I don't know, I'm kind of annoying. I like a super like notchy like race car feeling shifter. I don't know why.
yeah,
Um, but if I'm driving right hand drive, I like the like big shift knob. Like as long as it's like,
yeah.
dude, third to second, boom. Like it just feels cool.
So much easier, eh? Like I
Yeah.
always have that in my Sylvia. And it's like never misshifted, just like bang, it's in. And then like as soon as I went to FD and like didn't run that, it's like misshift. And like right at the worst track. It's
Yeah.
like, fuck, not doing that again.
Um what like what steering knuckles setup do people run in for the like FD and FCs like in your area? Is there like a
Uh
B knuckle equivalent? Like are you just running
in in Kansai, no one like uses that car. So I just made my
Yeah.
own.
Perfect.
Yeah. I like made um you know Zig Race?
No.
They make like a knuckle adapter thing. And it's
Oh, okay.
one of the guys at Pet Drifts is FD at Mayhan made his own one too. It's like a billet piece of like metal that they like weld onto the original knuckle. And
Okay.
what that does is you get the same like short knuckle thing, but it also like brings up the scrub radius. And then with
Mm.
FD being double wishbone, it's hard to get camber out of them. So it also gets camber and brings the brake and stuff like that away from hitting early. So like on my car, it's like
Okay.
can pretty much get as much lock as I want. I just made like a cut and welded version of that. So I
Cool.
tried to get similar to like a B knuckle type thing, but on FD. So kind of like a
Yeah.
big spacer Sylvia knuckle.
Interesting. Okay. Do you run a
But
big spacer? Are you running like a lot of scrub?
on that car, it's like a 30 mil spacer, but in the knuckle, it's got like another 25 or 30 mil. So it's like
Okay, I
equivalent
see.
to like a 50 or a 60 mil.
Okay. All right. So seems it's not like
Whereas,
the ridiculous like 70 mil.
no, I think that
Oh,
that shit's kind of like a little bit whack.
yeah.
Like they're like Kawabata spec car that they made with the freaking like that much spacer.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a little bit too much. But
Yeah. Keep it
yeah,
simple.
yeah. So plan to do like a similar thing on the FC, but I think that should be a lot more easy because it's more similar to like making a knuckle for a Sylvia.
I
So
see.
cut that up
I
and
didn't realize they were so different.
FD and FC,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, way different.
Okay.
FC is basically like pretty much like the same as like a, well, not the same, but it's like front rack McPherson like a E36, but
Okay.
then it's like a kind of like a Sylvia style knuckle. Isn't the 36 one like, oh no, it's still the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, so it's like an E36 kind of. So just tried to make a S chassis kind of knuckle and then do big spacer and stuff like that. And hopefully it works good.
Yeah. I'm eventually gonna bring my car to Julian so he can start making heat maker E36
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah. I get
What have
asked
you
like
gotten?
weekly what my angle kit is, and I'm like really tired of promoting like this guy who like is anyway. Like if I
Yeah,
call
might as
him and I'm
well like,
like like it's like, oh yeah, like uh, I lost like this like shim or this like bushing fell out of it, like can I get another one? It's like, oh yeah, it'll be like $20. I'm like, come on man, like do you know how many fucking kits I've sold for you? Like
yeah, right.
I know that sounds
Like
cocky,
some
but it's
$20
like
bushing.
I get asked like all like literally all the time what my angle kit is. So I'd much
Yeah,
rather like support my friend than someone who
yeah,
doesn't.
100%, especially when like Julian's making that stuff all the time, eh?
Yeah,
And then if like
yeah,
anything breaks, I guess as well, it's like way easier.
yeah, yeah. Keep it simple.
Mm.
Plus, like I think he's gonna like dial in. I don't know. I don't want to give away too much secret sauce, but I think it'll be good. He's got some ideas.
Yeah. Is your car a one piece front lower arm where you can't do the,
Hmm.
can you adjust the caster on it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get an adjustable mount for the one of the mounting locations
Okay.
that either like pushes there's like a pivot point and it pushes it like in or out, and that's how it adjusts caster.
Yeah.
Some people just run like a top hat that has like caster adjustment in it. That's probably better.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do with my car. It's just like a solid like one piece lower arm, and I don't want to like with no adjustment, and I don't really want to change to an aftermarket lower arm, like especially if it's something
Yeah,
from overseas, because if I bin it, I'm gonna have to get a new lower arm. I don't want to be waiting like weeks or months to get something from overseas where I can just buy something off Yahoo used.
yeah. I would really love to send an E36, like a left-hand drive E36 to Japan and drive it. But like motor wise, like I'd probably have to have something Japanese in it, and then I'd probably like steering wise, it'd have to be something like I can easily I'd have, get like a bunch of spares
Yeah.
for and stuff.
I
But
think
like yeah, if I
this
blow up a trailing arm or something, like I'm be fucked. Like what do you do?
I think like E46 you'd probably be all right. We have like a
Yeah.
few of those here. But yeah,
Mm.
36 is a pretty rare. Yeah, I think your car would be sick to bring over though, because
People would
Jay-Z
be
and
like,
stuff. So
whoa, yeah,
that as well. But like, what the fuck is this? Especially at
yeah,
Mayhem.
Yeah. I would love to do that. I had yeah, like Tamoya was telling me that he really likes BMWs and stuff, and he was like telling me that in
Yeah.
front of some people who really like FCs and FTs. I was like,
They're like, what?
kind of heartbreaking. They're like, what? Like, I was like, he's like, oh yeah, it's such a cool car. I'm like, thanks. You know, like, because it's rare over there. There's not.
Yeah, right. There's like no one that uses it because it's like, one, it's rare, and two, it's really expensive here.
Yeah.
Like
I'll just
most
ship.
of the ones we,
I'll
like
just
most
ship.
of the ones we got here,
Ship my.
most of the ones we got here are like the 2 liter ones too,
Yeah.
and automatic. So it's like not like you can just go out and like have fun in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Yeah, I'm like buying there's like a couple BMW like shops that in Japan that I follow. And like
yeah,
it's all like modern stuff. Like none of it's like they have like one E36 and it's like pretty ridiculous. Like it's like a very nice like track build and you're like that thing's worth some money over there.
yeah. No, follow up your post like Japanese BMW accounts. They do them right here.
Yeah.
So
They're
cool.
so cool. You're like yeah.
And it's
I mean
actually kind
like
of funny, like, oh, you go ahead.
they I mean they ran them in Japanese touring car J I can't remember the name of the series that they ran them in, but there's like have you ever seen the 007 like 4-door E36 touring car?
I don't know the exact one, but like I know of like the series that you're talking about.
Yeah, there's one that's like it's like white, but it has like uh red. It has like red, white, and it has like the BMW like color like checkers on it, and then like it was
Yeah.
sponsored by 007, I think GoldenEye. So it was that era.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't know. I don't know what happened to that car, but I'd see that on the internet all the time.
Yeah, no, it's so many, like, I don't know what happens to all those cars here. Like all those
Yeah.
old race cars, like obviously they had like bulk like series of like a whole lot of random makes, but you just like you'll see like the odd car up on Yahoo, but barely anything. Probably like out the back of some farm somewhere.
Yeah, or they're like in some you know, uh criminals like underground car collection
Right.
that no one will ever see.
Either there or a farm, one of the two.
Yeah, there is no middle ground.
Not at all.
I I can't wait to come back. I do really want to bring an E36 over. I would love to bring mine. Just build
That'd be
another one
sick.
here or something. Like,
Is it because Julian, Jason, and Ryan all brought their cars over? Is it like how is it too much of a pain in the ass to do that again, or
I think it was like kind of a big deal and like a lot of crazy headaches and stuff.
not worth it, you think?
I think it like didn't like I don't want to get into too much of the details, but like it was kind of a logistical nightmare and there was like some other stuff that happened and I think they're kind of not into the idea of doing that again. Also, it like took so long that they didn't have their cars for I don't know half a year or whatever. It was just that event, and so like
Wow.
I don't know if it was that long, but I think it was like kind of it was a thing. And so Jason actually he got the S13 that Ryan was driving at Mahon, and that's what he's building to send back to Japan.
Wow.
So it'll be like that car will have
It's
been
been
across
around.
the ocean. Well, I mean, it was probably built in Japan and shipped to America, and
Yeah,
then
true.
sent back to Japan, driven there, and then sent back to America, and then it'll go back to Japan and live the rest of its life there.
Yeah. Because the way they did it, you have to send it back, yeah? Was the CarNet thing or something like that?
I think I don't know how they did it.
Yeah.
But I think there's like a way to do it if it's like a competition car. You can like bring like because they do competition car stuff all over the
Yeah.
world. So I think there's like rules where you can
Something
get
to
away
do
with
with
that. If I'm gonna ship a car over, like I'd probably want to. I don't know if I would ship mine because it's like so complicated at this point.
Yeah.
I'd probably want to send something more like simple that I could like maintain a bit easier.
Yeah.
Got
Simple
like
and easy to fix.
got like surge tanks and I'm like all this shit. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's I don't know E85. Should probably like I would probably have to tune it for race gas or something.
Yeah. Because I don't even know if we surely we get it, but I don't think it's very accessible here. E85.
It's probably really expensive. It's probably imported.
Probably. Like what I see people using here is like either race gas or just like pump gas because we get good 100 octane pump gas.
Yeah. Um, would you ever like? I mean, you have a car in New Zealand, but would you ever want to drive in the U.S.?
100%. It looks
Yeah,
sick, eh?
yeah,
Especially like all the places you guys drive. I don't know. It'd be fun. I want to make it happen one day, but I just don't probably want to like bring a car, I think.
yeah.
So I drove left-hand drive once and can't do it.
I
Maybe if I
do.
got some practice, but
I'm
like,
so
when I
bad at
drove
right
it, it
hand
was so
drive.
bad. I think like just having like the spatial awareness of like having the dash like being like on the
Yeah,
other side, it just feels
yeah,
so strange.
yeah.
I'm sure I'd get used to it, but like if I was going over there for like just a driving trip, I'd rather just maybe like export something.
I would love to have a right hand drive car here to like practice in, so that when I go to other places, I don't look like I don't know how to drive.
Just like jump in like it's normal, yeah.
Yeah. Like Aaron and Julian and everybody else who has right hand drive cars, when they go other places, it's like, oh, it's not a thing. But like for me, I'm like, all right, what gear am I in? Like the gears are, I'm like doing it with the other hand. I don't know. I guess I could do it with like, I could play like a Seto on the other side, which is what they do. But
Yeah. I feel like that wouldn't give you the same feel though. Like the
it's
like
not.
being like where you are in the car.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's like
throws you off.
shifting and handbrake is good.
Yeah. But like, yeah, the knowing where the car is, it like really fucks with you.
Yeah. Crazy, yeah. So I went to Hawaii like a few years ago and got to drive some cars there,
Yeah.
and like so different. Just like this being like, especially on the street too. It's like knowing like where you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Towing. I don't know which car I was towing, but I was towing without like a license. I was towing one of the, I think it was one of the C's cars
yeah,
when we were in New Zealand, like to the animal style GP, like towing a car with like a trailer on the back. And like, I'm just like on the other side of the road. Like me and Julian were like in this, I think we're in a Hiace, like a turbo diesel Hiace.
yeah.
And like, I'm like looking, and I'm like, are we good? And he's like, yeah. We like realized we were looking the wrong way. I'm like, oh my god,
Fuck.
dude.
I don't know. Like
But
for me, when I drove left-hand drive,
yeah,
like and like everything's like opposite. You feel like it's like your first time driving again.
yeah.
Like you're like fresh on the road. Like you don't know what the hell you're doing.
The best is when you like flip the wipers on instead of the indicator,
Yeah.
and you're like, ah. Are you like how often do you go to the track even if you're not driving, or are you just kind of like running your business and
Pretty much just running my business. Like right now, it's just me and my wife. So I'm trying to get like a staff sorted soon. Well, been kind of trying, but yeah, basically that takes up like all of my time. So first thing, wake up, like finish at like 11, 12 o'clock. like every day.
So you guys are running the business together.
Yeah.
Does she have like a job also, or is it just you guys do this full time together?
At the moment, she's got a part-time job, which she actually meant to be telling her today that she's quitting. Yeah.
Congrats.
So yeah, being like pestering her, like just like quit, like
I need your help, please.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, just kind of trying to manage that and like grow the company more to a point where I can get some staff on full time and then kind of get some freedom back.
Yeah, and then go
Yeah,
drifting a lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's the plan. The
I
goal, the
like
dream.
I like it. The more cars you buy from Tweed, the sooner Jordo can go drifting again.
Yep, pretty much.
Just don't buy a bunch at the exact same time. I actually do that.
Yeah, yeah, do that. I'd be
Just send the
happy.
money
But
first.
my wife will be freaking out. Jordan, what are you doing?
um,
Yeah. Have do you guys have much interest in that drift week thing in America? It's pretty far from where you are, yeah? What do you think of
it's not that
that
far.
thing?
They've done a couple that are close to us. It's just
Yeah.
none of our cars are like street registered, and the whole thing about Drift
Uh,
Week is like driving to all the events. It's fairly expensive.
yeah.
Um, I I'm not like against it. I have like a bunch of friends that do it and love it. I I have a car that I could do it in now, but I don't know if I want to do it in that car because I'm like kind of trying to make it nice, and I don't want to like make it a thrashed like drift week car. Um,
Yeah.
maybe I should do that first and then make it nice. I don't know. uh, I don't know. It seems fun. I like the concept. Um, our last like little trip where we went up to like where Aaron lives, like it's like it's like 15 hours each way towing. Um,
Oh, he's that far away from you guys.
yeah,
Fuck. And
yeah,
then B Strong's like even more far.
yeah. We like met in the middle, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if
True.
if 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 Brandon comes to drive with us, it's like 20 plus hours.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's like 20 hours from it's more than 20. It's like more than 20 hours for Aaron to go to Grange.
yeah.
That's like 8 or 9 for us,
Wow.
or we'd be there way
That's
more.
far.
Yeah. Like if we lived in Los Angeles, it would be an hour, 2 hours depending on where you live.
Yeah.
So they got it pretty good out there as far as getting to drive Grange.
So what's the local for you guys is Thunderhill, yeah? Or no?
Thunderhill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like our we have Sonoma. So like Sonoma does like a Wednesday
Yeah.
night drifting thing where there's like drag racing and drifting, and it's kind of like it's a bit more of like a free for all like um skid pad, like kind of like a really like loosely laid out skid pad with tandem. Um, the tech is like pretty tough to get like the ability to tandem. And
Yeah.
then the cool part is like you can run like on the actual like Sonoma racetrack where like the Indy cars and the NASCARs go, like from like
Oh,
4 to
true.
6. Yeah, that's that like I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like that like downhill, left, uphill, downhill, and then there's kind of like a big like right hander that people like back it into. Um,
But on like going downhill.
mhm.
Yeah. No, that place looks sick. That's one place I see. I like, fuck, I want to drive there.
It's in like like if you can tandem close on that, it's like you're doing the whole thing. For me, you're doing the whole thing in fourth and then going down to third, like on that last little
Yeah.
section. but like with pretty short gearing. I'm like I would say like the equivalent to like maybe like a 4.6 or 4.7.
Yeah.
Um, that course is sick. Like it's like
It looks
fast,
so much fun.
pretty technical, um, and like you're flying down the hill, and if you don't like, like you just fly off the track if you don't like back it in or like
Yeah.
slow down right. Um, that's pretty cool. I'd like to drive that more, but it's like kind of hard to get to sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, like places like that and like Grange or like the main places I see, but I really want to drive over there.
Yeah. Thunderhill East is sick. Like if you have a bunch of horsepower and you want to like kill tires kind of quickly,
Yeah.
like entering into turn one, like at over like 120 miles an hour is like probably the scariest thing I've done drifting. So
Yeah.
like that,
I
that's
saw your clips here. I was like, fuck.
yeah. Like Jason didn't get any in car, but he was like going as fast, if not faster than me. Like,
Fuck.
yeah. And like it's just like yeah. I took my ex-girlfriend out and she's just like, I'm good. like because I blew off like a couple times. And you're going like 100 plus and you like fly off the track. That's a little scary.
You
Especially
keep
for
pitching out like,
passengers.
did I tighten up everything good? Is my car going to go
Yeah.
this fast? It's not going to
Yeah.
fly off.
Yeah. So yeah, we have some good options. And then like Medford, we're like, I don't know, like 7-8 hours from. So we're like in the middle of a lot of stuff, but we tow a lot. Like Thunderhill's like a 3 hour tow, depending on what time.
Yeah. I'd like kind of like thought about like doing a trip over and what I'd want to do, like as far as like a driving trip. Like I think like buying a Sylvia here in Japan and exporting that would probably be sick, but it'd be like getting it registered. What would be the best state to do it in? Because if you get it registered in one state, you can drive like wherever you
Yeah. I don't know how you would
kind of.
register it.
Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, maybe I
'Cause-
couldn't even register it because I don't live there. Yeah.
yeah. Someone would have to register it in their name in a state that it's okay to do that. Probably like
Yeah.
Washington would be the easiest, it seems.
Either, yeah, either do that or the thing where you like bring your car from your country and you can like use it in the other country for like a certain amount of time and then bring it back. There's
Yeah.
something like that I've heard of, but I think doing like that and having a car which like I know how to drive would be cool. Just like a stock like turbo Sylvia.
Yeah. You'd have a blast.
Like the only tricky thing would be like getting fuel because they're meant to run on like a higher octane, whereas what it seems like from what I've seen is all the US gas is real low octane.
Yeah, you'd probably just have to mix like race 100. Some of the tracks
Yeah.
have it. Like Thunderhill has 100 octane.
Oh, really?
Sonoma has 100 octane. So you could just I think what they do is mix like 91 and 100 to find like the right percentage.
Yeah.
Or you could just run full 100. I think what our 100 octane is more potent than your 100 octane though, so it's like not exact.
Yeah, I'd
It's like
say
the numbers aren't like exactly the same.
when it's not like proper race gas, it's probably a little bit it's just up a pump.
Well, I mean, yeah, you just put 100 in it because it's not that much more expensive at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
our gas went up a bunch, but then like race gas didn't change.
It's
Which is
run that.
Yeah, yeah, it was nice because like 91 was like $7 a gallon, and E85 was like $5 a gallon. I'm like, okay, that's economical. Also good for the trees, I think. I hope.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
It's still like fairly cheap in Japan, so stoked on that. Hasn't gone like crazy wherever else has gone like pretty mental on gas prices.
Yeah. I wonder how that works.
Apparently, the Japanese government is subsidizing it, so it's not
Oh,
going
that's
to
cool.
increase too much. So
They're like,
apparently, but
they're like, we don't
who
want to
knows?
send this place, and the people are gonna start going crazy, and no one's gonna drive. Nothing's gonna get done.
I'm just going to dump their cars and jump on the train and like pack it even more.
Yeah.
I
What
hate
was it?
riding those things. Eh?
Uh, I don't mind it. I kind of like. I don't know. There's always like some interesting happening, but
True.
I've seen some shit. I saw like a dude kick another dude in the nuts on the
Oh, what?
yeah. I think it was in. I don't remember if it was Tokyo or if it was in like Osaka. But yeah, some other dude was like like drunk and like hanging from the handles. Like this another dude just
Yeah.
like pulled himself up on the handles and like kicked him in the nuts. It's like what the fuck? I don't know.
Hell.
Wild salary man, just having a fucking time of their life.
They're different, eh?
Yeah.
It's funny when you can understand Japanese, and then like when you're on the train and you hear the salary man talking, and they're talking about how they're going to go to the brothel on the way home. So that's funny.
Like out loud. I'm just like, yeah, we're
Yeah,
going
like
to
full out
brothel.
loud. I was with my wife, and we're like waiting for a train, and there's like a whole group of salarymen in front of us, and like you can see they're all got like wedding rings on and shit, and they're like talking about how they're going to go to the brothel like freaking tonight and shit. It's like,
Damn salary
nice.
man. I had to work late, honey.
Boss is fucking riding me.
Literally. Yeah, man.
Fucking different, eh?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't wait to go back and see some wild shit. Halloween in Osaka was and like Downtonbury was like pretty it was probably one of the craziest nights of my life.
Dude, it's fucked. Eh? It's like probably like the biggest night in Japan.
Yeah. It was so cool. I got a tattoo earlier that day, so I was like walking around with my like tattoo healing and like got very drunk and was like there was just like lowriders and there was like a gang of like Hummer H2s on like 30s like driving around with their like Lambo doors open, like all these like
Yeah,
people on like scooters and
it's
just
so
like
sick. Eh?
everyone like dressed up all crazy and yeah.
I don't
There
think
was
there's anywhere else that goes that hard for Halloween.
no, there's people jumping in the river in the canals like off the
Yeah,
bridge.
man, like fucking sketchy fucks jumping in there.
There's
There's
the
like bikes and like random stuff in there, like probably get impaled on that shit.
yeah. Oh yeah, there was the night like a couple nights one of the weekends before Halloween for that Super D trip. Everyone all of us all had hot dog costumes and were running around also. You were
Yeah,
there for that, I remember. It was like 25 of
yeah.
us all in hot dog costumes. Julian told me the day before we were leaving to get a hot dog costume. I was like, "What? Wait, how, like
Where
where?"
do I get a hot dog costume?
Yeah, I was like, I need I had like one day to find one. I was like, all right. I was like, I better get to wear this. Like, and me and Aaron Wong,
That was sick, eh?
yeah, like got off the plane. We ended up on the same flight, and we like ended up sitting next to each other because I just like asked to move, and they're like, yeah. So I was like hanging out with him, and we're on the train. We're like on the line, like talking to everybody, like trying to figure out where everyone's at. And we showed up, and all of you guys were like trashed. Like we tried our best to catch up, and it was like a whole thing, dude. That was a night.
I don't know, I can catch up pretty easy with those strong zeros.
Yep. Yeah. Running on the streets, wieners out. Just a gang of wieners running down the street.
Japanese people were like, "Oh, these tall ass freaking hot dogs running around here."
Making trouble. It's like 2 in the morning. 20 fucking hot dogs walking down the street together. That is something I will never forget. Hella tired.
Yeah, wing borders open. You can get the suits back out.
Everyone's
Where
like,
else? What's
what's
that?
up?
Oh, where is there anywhere else you want to drive in Japan, like other than Meihan?
Um, I've been to Ebisu, like
Yeah,
on that trip in 2016. I went, and I'm like, fuck, I wanted to drive, like seeing Minami, like I'm like, I want to drive Minami so fucking bad. Like it was so cool. Like watching like people who were there for it was a Matsuri. So like people there
yeah.
just like came out for Matsuri and like watching them try and then watching like people who could actually do it. Like this is another one of those like commitment tracks. Like you have to
Dude,
like
that place
fully
was
commit.
insane, eh?
Yeah.
On
And
my
so
my first trip over here, we me and all my friends from back home, we like all brought cars and went there and did like for like a week there, then like another week like checking out car shops and went to Meihan and got the chance to drive that place and fucking hell, it's different.
how was it? Like
Like
did you
had
get to
a
did you hit the jump drift? Were you like was this earlier on in your driving skill or
so skill wasn't as good, but confidence was good. So like it was raining, and I think it was like first day there. Man, drove like all the other tracks. I was like when you go to Ibisu, like you want to drive like Minami, yeah, like
yeah.
that's like the main place like everyone wants
Yeah.
to drive. I was like, oh yeah, we'll like go down there and like just like send it off the jump, like just go like slowly. Like when it's raining, it's real easy because your car just like floats the whole track. Like start getting confident, like scrape the wall a couple of times. Like, oh, this is
Sick.
sick. And then like Nick, like I think maybe later that night, like dried up. It's like completely different in the dry, like so much harder.
Yeah.
Like you fly into it like as fast as you can, and like you land and car like half grips up, especially in a Sylvia
Yeah. It
because it doesn't have as much weight or as much slow down torque.
was like a JZX or
So
something.
JZXs look like they kind of just like float down it and are a bit easier to drive.
Ah, interesting.
So like driving in the dry and wet is like completely different. But like that's probably one of my favorite courses, I think.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to drive there in a nice car.
No.
I think like it was like third run, I hit the wall. So
I think yeah, I think there's something about people who only want to drive the most dangerous tracks. Like, are we masochists? Are we just like that's the only way we get adrenaline is like
I don't
the
know. It's just like the most fun.
yeah. Yeah. Is there something wrong with us? I don't know, but that's what I
I
like.
don't think so.
Um
Whereas like,
the
yeah,
like North Course looks fun. Like I would love to drive like that like big entry, like throw backies in there. That like I Nico, I would love to drive. Like just I want a 3-wheel Nico. Like
yeah, it's just like one of those tracks which is like a bucket list track.
yeah. Um like there's so many good ones.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me, maybe I've driven it before, but not in my own car, is Bihoku.
Yeah.
Probably
Would love to drive
there.
there.
There's cool. And what's the place? It's like looks like a togue sort of course. Um, it's up north. Yamanashi. That place looks cool.
Yeah. Yamanashi,
Like to drive it in my FD. I reckon it'd be
yeah.
fun there because it's like fast, like mountain style car.
Yeah. I play Yamanashi on Assetto a lot.
Dude, I got a Seto and like tried to play that place and like can't even do it. I've got one of those. I think it's a G25, and like
Yeah.
I'm just playing it on my laptop, so it's like real laggy. I
Yeah.
don't know like how to set up that thing, but dude, it's so much harder than real life.
Yeah. Once you have to like what I learned is you have to play through the suck. Like you're like, I suck at this. This is terrible. And then you just have to like play. And if you play online and like talk to people while you're doing it, or like listen to music, or like listen to like a podcast or audiobook or whatever the fuck you do to distract you, and like just keep trying, like you'll
Yeah,
figure it out. But you got to do like, I don't know, you got to do like an hour plus, like just straight, and then it'll start to like kind of make sense.
the only track I could like kind of do decent in it was Minami, but then like everywhere else, like getting
Yeah.
like the initial flick, and then like especially if it's like a small road, like timing the corners right,
Yeah.
just like feels so weird.
Well, there's like so many senses taken away.
Yeah,
Like you don't have like depth perception like you would if you're driving. You don't have like the feel of the G forces. You don't have like, I don't know, it just like takes away like a lot of the stuff. So it's kind of like, and it's also not exactly the same. Like it doesn't,
yeah,
like there are things that are like a lot of the cars like push a lot. I noticed like a lot of them don't have much front grip, and so like you have to really like know how to like load up the Assetto car and like flick it and then catch it, because it's like it's just different. Um,
yeah. Like you try like do a setup on it, and it like doesn't feel anything like what it
yeah,
should.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah. You're like, oh, okay, let's get the camera settings and tow, and you're like,
yeah,
that would be perfect if it was a real car. But then you like go drive, you're like, what the fuck is this? This doesn't
like
drive
doesn't
right
do
at all.
anything.
Yeah. Um, but it is helpful. I
Do you mind if I just go toilet? Been smashing this Aquarius because
Dude,
freaking
of course.
JDM summer. We'll be back.
All right. Welcome back. I thought about a question for you.
Yeah.
What was like take us through like your first track day in Japan in like a car that you brought. Like what was that like?
Uh First track day. I guess there's like a couple of the well, like the first actual one would be at Ibisu, and then brought a car like an S13, and actually brought it off Rob, who's now living in Japan. Uh, the 86 dude. Probably
Hmm.
seen him online. Slippery 86 is his Instagram. He was working for Stack.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
familiar with him, but maybe I met him.
yeah. Anyway, I'm sure you probably might have met him once or seen him around.
Hmm.
But yeah, brought a car off that dude. It was like a basic S13. Um, had like a slightly upgraded turbo ECU, like just like a piggyback one. And then yeah, went over to Ibisu, like no idea about anything. Um, and yeah, basically like went through power vehicles, brought tires and stuff for them for the week, and you basically put gas in it and went. I think. Oh, actually, I ended up bringing Knuckles with me for that car because I wanted to feel like my car back home and be able to drive like similarly to how I wanted to
Mm,
drive.
yeah.
So brought that over with me and then drove there. But I guess it's like kind of a different experience to like when I actually moved to Japan. So I don't know. Should I talk about this or talk about like coming to Meihan, where it is? Yeah.
Um I'm curious about both, honestly. Like what
Both.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
take me through like the differences, and then I guess like take me through the Mahon day. Take me through your first Mahon day, and
Yeah.
then we can talk about the differences.
Yep. All right. I'll continue on the Abisu one.
Okay.
But so yeah, like super simple. Like you basically went on that Facebook page and like you find someone that's selling a car. It's like Gaijin cars for sale at Basu or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You find out if it's got power vehicles eligibility, and then you buy the one that does, so you can get support at the shop, and you pay power vehicles some fee, and then basically you're allowed to buy tires and parts of them, use their tire machine, and like workshop support. Well, like obviously you pay for it, but you have access to be able to have people work on your car there. So yeah, that's probably the easiest way to come here and drive, because like the cars at the track, they've got parts, tires, tire machine, just like arrive and drive type of deal. But the cars are normally shit, and you're normally working on them half the time. But I got lucky, and my car was all right, other than crashing it and bending tie rods. So that was
That'll
probably the
happen.
hardest. Yeah, that was probably the hardest bit, and because it had knuckles and lower arms, they were longer, and there was like nothing but stock stuff in stock, so nothing would work. And it was actually on Minami jump when I like hit that in the dry, I like landed weird and just like full straight up, like bent the tire out. I was like, oh no, like I was like, oh surely they've got like tie rods there, like heaps. Go to the shop, looking around for ages, there's like nothing but stock stuff. I'm like, oh my god. And then like they have like obviously a shop with welders and stuff, and like just end up like welding like a pipe, like a piece of metal to the like straightening the tie rod and welding a piece of metal to it. That lasted like a few more laps on Minami, and bent again, like just kept bending. So I was like, probably stop driving there. And then like for the rest of the places, it was sweet. But yeah, I guess that's probably the easiest place as a foreigner to go, because you buy a car, you rock up, and they basically handle everything else. Like, it's as easy as it gets, other than Kansai Dori and like Kansai area, which they have rental cars and you can rent off them, and obviously they sort everything, so it's probably even more easy. But you're renting a car instead of buying something your own. And then I guess when I first bought a car here, for if you're like for a foreigner, if you don't speak any Japanese, like power vehicles or like a rental place is the way to go probably. But for when I brought it, my S13 when I first moved here, had to sort all the well actually I got Hero from Milk Tea. I brought my car through him, and he helped me out with all the shark and like road inspection and stuff like that. And then I think between like him and Macy helped doing all the paperwork, because that time I'd never done it before, and they'd obviously done it and knew how the whole process works, so they helped me out on that, which is yeah, big thank you. I'd say if you're trying to do all that stuff on yourself, like by yourself with no Japanese, it's pretty tricky.
I bet.
Like now I've done it a lot, so
Yeah.
it's not much of an issue anymore.
So just like a lot of paperwork, or like what's the
Like there's a whole bunch of paperwork, and like actually going to the center and like doing the sharking yourself, there's like so many different like places you need to go. It's like, oh, you've gone to place A, now go to place 100B, then back to 59C, like all these random places within the sharking place. And then obviously if you get something wrong with your car, you've got to know, like understand like what's wrong and like what to do, like with the sheet they give you, which is all in Japanese, obviously.
yeah.
And then so yeah, you've got to register your car park and like a whole lot of fucking around. So it's not as simple as like you just buy the car, you transfer it to your name. It's like you buy the car, but at the same time you've got to find your car park, which has got to be within 2 kilometers of your house. Which when I was living there at that time, I was living in the city, and obviously there's not like heaps of private car parks in the city because no one really owns cars, and if they are, it's super expensive.
Yeah.
But managed to get hooked up with some real estate agent, and they ended up finding a car park under like a big apartment building. So it was like just some like random like apartment in the city, and it had like one spot underneath for a car, and like all these bike racks, and it was lit up at night and inside, but like the front was open.
Hmm.
So it was like perfect because it was indoors and there was like room for me to put tires on the side, which probably the people living at the apartment didn't like. Some like shit drift car with like half the bumpers missing, and, like coming back at like 1 in the morning.
Super
Probably no,
loud.
probably actually later than that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
straight pipe drift car. Like what the fuck is this thing? So that was funny.
Yeah.
And
How much did
had
it
like
cost for the car park? Like, what does that cost?
city is expensive. I think it was like 20K, which is maybe like 150 American or like 100 American. Like the rate's good now a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like where I am now, like in the countryside, you can probably get something for like expensive like 10K, but normally like 5 to 10K. So probably like 20 to 70 USD a month.
Yeah, that's a little better.
So yeah, huge jump, especially when you're on like an English teaching salary.
Yeah, because
It's like you
you
got like
still have
car
like
park,
rent. Yeah, like
rent. Yeah.
how much is your rent, the car park, and then how much do you make? Like
At
how
that
much?
at
Yeah.
that time, my
Yeah.
car park was 20K. My rent was 40K, 60K plus I guess like food and stuff. And what I was making was like probably like 150K a month. So it's like
Okay. So it's like most
60K
of it.
plus
Yeah.
food. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
All
most
right.
just in that. And
Yeah.
then like
So
was
go
like
so
circuit,
tires in a track day, you're like out of money.
yeah, like zero. So that's why like going to hills is more like feasible. And you
Yeah.
like minus off that like 10K plus like for like further distance to go to the track.
Yeah.
And obviously tires last longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, first track day I did in that car was at Mayhan Sea Course. And yeah, like went good, like drove the car there, hit the wall, drove all day, drove it
Sick.
home.
What was it like
Yeah.
rolling into that place to drive yourself in your own car for the first time?
Did
Like, were
it
you?
surreal, like years of like dreaming of driving that place like in my own car, and then finally like waiting outside like sunrise, like waiting to get in, like, just like full like fizzing. And then that same day Hero came, and then just like doing tandems with him like halfway through the day. It was like pretty surreal first day at Mayhem.
Yeah, he's
So
so good.
he was in his T28 car as well, so I was like could actually drive with him too.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah,
quick. He's
dude,
very
he's
fast.
fast.
Yeah.
He's another dude, which is like I think he's probably more not like he's a bit more known now, but
Yeah.
like
Back then.
years ago, like no one knew who he was. It was just like bullshit good.
Yeah. Just a monster.
It's like
how did you get like linked up with him and
um
Macy?
so on my first trip to Japan, we ended up meeting Macy and I don't know if we met Jesse or not, but Macy and another guy that was living there at the time, Jeff, both from Australia. We ended up meeting them and then just like talking online and stuff. And then we obviously ended up moving over and already knew them. So talked to him and then helped us sort out things and link up with Hero and stuff like that. So yeah, that helped out big time for like getting a car sorted in Japan because otherwise, like on your own, is pretty tricky.
Yeah.
Especially like getting a car park and stuff like that. If you're just to go do it as a foreigner, like a lot of places also won't rent to you, especially if you're on a visa, because like they might have like a 2 year contract for the car park.
Mm.
Normally not as common for a car park, but for apartments and stuff like that, they normally won't rent it for that reason.
Oh, so you got lucky.
And like the like whole being a pain in the ass if you can't speak the language, it's just like too much of a headache for them. Like why would they like do the extra
Yeah.
headache for like no reward over like just
Yeah.
giving it to a Japanese person where it's going to be simple. They just pay it and
Yeah. And they're just gonna park their like Prius there or whatever.
yeah.
Not a Sylvia.
Hmm.
That's like two different colors or whatever.
Yeah.
Or more.
So yeah, probably got like a bunch of complaints like, what the fuck is this thing downstairs
They're
of our
like, he pays
apartment?
on time every month.
Someone left this fucking wreck in our apartment, like get it out. I was doing some panel beating there sometime, like after Mayhan, and like this old dude came out, like went mental. I was like, oh fuck. So yeah, probably not the best idea to do panel beating there. Now I look back at it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I installed my angle kit in a like a gym like parking garage in San
yeah,
Francisco, so I know how it goes.
got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I was like, do it inside, nice, shaded, or go outside.
Well, it's like where I stored my car because I was like, well, if I get a gym
Oh yeah,
membership, it
true.
says gym member parking only. Doesn't say for how long. I
Doesn't
just
say
left.
no angle kit installs.
Yeah, I just left it there. That's like where my car lived. That was my. It was the
They
cheapest.
probably like talked about it, like, what the hell is this dude up to? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it had like a cage and shit. Like the interior was stripped out. Like it was not like a. Yeah, it was like right. It was when I bought the M3, and it was still a street car.
it's actually smart though, because it's probably like cameras and stuff there, and it's all nice and
Mm-hmm.
secure.
And it's like if they towed him, it'd be like it says gym parking only. I'm a fucking member. I didn't even go to the gym. I just got the
Just
membership so
use
I
the
could leave my
parking.
car there. Yeah.
Crack up.
You know, we do what we can for this stupid sport.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I didn't have anywhere else to put it. That's all I had. So
Like searching around, like, oh, gym free parking of membership. Oh, here we go.
this place that I just moved into now like has there's like a FC parked outside. I'm like trying to figure out which one of my neighbors has it
Oh,
because
true. Is it
so
like stock or?
it's like they probably watched Initial D, but I don't know if they actually like drive it because it hasn't moved since I've been here, and I've been here like 2 weeks.
Like a red sun sticker on it?
It's white and it's got like I think yeah, it's got like uh different Mazda wheels on it, different factory Mazda wheels on it, but they're not like cool. They're like just
Some
from
80s
another.
thing.
Yeah, something's going on there. I haven't really gotten to take like a close look at it. I'm kind of like nervous to go like walk around it because I don't want to get like yelled at. But luckily, there's like I finally have a spot where like there's like decent amount of parking, which is pretty cool because now I can bring my like street car that has a welded diff here and drive it around the city, which will be kind of fun.
Yeah. It's like real hard for you guys to like do cars where you are, yeah? Like with the emission stuff? Or
Yeah, like this car is like stock engine, so and I won't be changing it for
yeah.
now. Um, but I have, yeah, like my drift car, like I'd have to register it out of state or like do some sneaky stuff that if I get pulled over, like they'll just take the car or they'll give me like I mean, if I got pulled over in the drift car and they knew what they were looking at, they'd probably take it because they can. They
Oh,
have the
really?
power to do that. Yeah.
What do they do?
Um,
Like just impound it and then you have to pay to get it back?
yeah. So there's like there's a thing called like a state referee where like they give you this ticket that essentially means like you have to bring it to like a California emissions like inspection center. I've never been state rep, so like I don't really know exactly how it works, but like
Yeah.
the car gets pretty much like red flagged in the system and then like it's like this whole process to like get it off. And then depending on what you're doing, when you get pulled over, like I think if it's like emissions it's like problematic with like emissions and you're doing any kind of like illegal driving, they can just take the car from my understanding. I got pulled over for doing some streeting and they like threatened to take the car and luckily they
True.
didn't. But before that was like before I even swapped it, so it's
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's funny. Like what I see online is like where like you're from, it's like super strict, but like everywhere else looks like it's like,
yeah.
especially Florida, looks like you can do like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida you can drive. I was in Arizona and like those like side by side like off-road like things, those like buggies.
Yeah,
Yeah, like people just drive those around on the street. And you're
yeah,
like,
it's like
okay, that's like you see
living
that
in
and
the
you're just
wrong
like,
state.
yeah, like I just got back from Washington where Aaron lives. And like, dude, like where Aaron's at, like it's like R32, JZX, like Sylvia, like they're just driving around and you're like, what the fuck? Like, but
Yeah,
there's no emissions at all. Like they don't care. Like if you can put plates on it, like if you pay them to put plates on it, you can drive whatever you want.
it's kind of stupid, eh? Like you can like register it there, and like you could like drive to like your city,
Yeah.
but like you can't have the same thing where you are.
I think there's two reasons why it's problematic in California. One, like Los Angeles was like it's very densely populated. Like there's more people in LA, I think, than like in like Los Angeles County than like a lot of states in the United
Yeah,
States. And it's all like within like a very small radius. And so the air pollution and air quality was getting like really, really bad there. And there's also like a lot of like factories and shit, so it probably didn't help. But that's when they started like really pushing all the emission stuff. And then the motor swap stuff, I think, happened in like the 90s, and like the import stuff happened in like the 90s because like there's like a lot of street racing and it was like huge in Southern
oh wow.
California. And so they passed a bunch of stuff that like made it even more difficult. So, yeah, California's great unless you like guns and cars.
I guess you can still like get a trailer and like go to the track and stuff. So it's like,
Yeah, that's what I do.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, where some people drive their swap cars at the track, like I just yeah. It just sucks that you can't like import stuff. Like you can't like bring anything over that isn't smoggable.
Yeah. It's like either it's like your only option is like register it out of state and then just like
Yeah.
rip it around on different tags.
Yep. And hope that they don't pull you over with California license and Arizona tags or Washington tags or whatever.
What would happen if they did that? Like, but take it off you?
You can. I don't really know what happens, but I know that you get in trouble. I know that they can.
Yeah.
You at least get some kind of ticket, or I think that sometimes they can take the car, but it's like they have to prove that you don't live there, like get the license and all that. Like, what a lot of people do is they'll like register their car in like another state to like a fucking random address because like some states
Yeah.
it's like that easy to register a car. Um, and then like in like a no smog like area, because like some of these other states, depending on like where you live or like what your address is, like you still have to do like emission stuff.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm sure like tons of people are probably doing that. It's just like
Yeah,
see how long you can get away with it.
yeah. And there's like you can get like an LLC in like Montana or something. Like you can if you like you can start a business in another state and then you can register the car to the business and then they'll send you tags. That's
You'd
like
be pretty
another
keen to do that though.
that's like another workaround. Or like I think you can just like register your car in like South Dakota like without having to do anything. Like you can just like fucking send them your like VIN number and like send them like $100 whatever and they'll send you plates like in like to your California address.
Yeah.
Um there's like a lot of real snaky stuff that you can do.
Yeah, I could do that in daily to EP.47.
That's what I'm saying. Start driving it to work.
Yeah.
So all my coworkers can ask me if like I go to takeovers.
Yeah, bro, there was a good one last night.
Oh, I think I saw your car on the Fox News on Channel 2 News. Like,
Dude, that stuff
no.
looks like such bad news, eh? Like the amount of
Yeah.
videos I've seen online where people just get like scooped up by the car.
Yeah. I feel like if you're like running around in the middle, you like kind of deserve it.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, saw some dude get like hit. He was like running around in the middle, and then like the whole crowd like came to like bash the car. I was like, what? It's like this dude doesn't, dude just ran into the car.
Yeah. They call it the pit. You know, like some of the I don't know. There's like a lot of like yeah, the vast majority of people can't tell the difference between like, drifting and that, unfortunately. So it's now we're kind of getting lumped in because it's like very hated by the majority of people, as I'm
Yeah,
sure you can imagine, because the only videos that people ever see are like people getting hit by cars.
yeah, that's so stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, if you look at like old school like drifting and like Nenko, like it's not like super far off, but it's like it's
Yeah,
very far off. Like I don't know.
you
It's
don't
like
see
people,
anyone getting punted by the cars like 10 meters.
right? That's the big difference. And the people there aren't like stomping out cars if they like fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, what happens if you like drive like a G35 around at night all blacked out, like you're getting pulled over?
You get pulled
Like
over
it
for
sucks.
sure.
Like it sucks if you just like had that car before all that and you just like that car.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely getting pulled over, especially depending on where you are.
yeah,
Yeah. Are
it's
they
not.
do people like look down on um like Sylvia's and like FCs and stuff still, or are they like kind of becoming like classics in Japan?
Uh, don't really know the answer to that honestly. Like, there's not much of it around, and I think like most normal people just think it's just like an old car. Like you've got no money. Like if I show like my wife like oh like oh sick there's like a G like a R52 GTR, she's like oh what's it? It's like some like grandpa car like it's all like boxy and gray or like some shit like that. I'm like no it's good, look at it. No, I
Like
don't
this
think
is we
like most
make
people
this
think
is
it's
how we
cool.
make money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's not like I don't know. I feel like it's getting popular. Yeah, like the younger generation like loves all this stuff over here. Like if you drive it around now, the younger generation's just like so like into it. Um,
I had like one young dude give me like a thumbs up when I was driving my FD, so I was like, oh, it's still hot.
that's cool.
Yeah.
He
But
probably has TikTok.
probably. But I think for the like most part, like probably like stance or like VIP stuff is probably more popular for young guys over here,
Mm,
from what it seems like. And then also the like 86s, like the new 86 is getting popular.
yeah, it's a good car. I like the new body style is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's hugely popular here, and yeah, I'd get one. Like I reckon they're cool.
Yeah, I think as far as like drifting goes, do you see many of those like coming out to the trail? Like, are there many like newer cars? Because like like back when I don't know, like in the option videos and stuff, sometimes like a JZX would be like a brand new car out there like drifting. Like, do you
Yeah, it's
see
kind of
many of the new body style stuff out there?
yeah, it's kind of funny how that works. Say like yeah, back in the day, all those old videos, like those cars were only a few years old.
Yeah.
But then when we got the like new like now like previous Gen 86, like no one really used them that much. but like now they're like kind of starting to get used, but I haven't seen anyone use one locally really. Maybe common like different areas of Japan, like more popular other areas in Japan. But
Hmm.
I'd say the big reason for it is just like one, they're more expensive, and two, they're not as good as a Sylvia. Like
Right.
you can buy like a stock turbo Sylvia, or like you could for like relatively cheap, like put a muffler on it and up the boost, and you've got like a good fast car for like
Right.
not much money. Whereas you buy an
That's like well
8.6 or something like
known, and
that.
yeah, you don't have to like
Exactly.
tune the shit out of it.
Yeah. Like 8.6 like doesn't make enough power. It's like steering's like kind of funky.
Yeah.
Like
They have
so
electric power steering, don't they?
yeah.
Yeah, I
So I
think that's
think
like the one
people
downside.
yeah. I think people have kind of figured it out now, but I still don't know if it's quite as good.
Yeah. Do you see a lot of them around, like just people like are there going to be chassis that people can use in the future?
Yeah, for 8.6s or
Yeah, like for drifting. Like do you think there's enough people buying them new and driving them around where there'll be like enough chassis for people to drift with in the future?
I think so. Like that's like I see like a lot of them around now. I think that and the like previous gen are probably like the most common sports car I see here. That and roadsters. But like all the other stuff is like never see it.
Mm.
Other than like JZX chassis, but it's like more like the GX or like non-turbo spec just driven by like an old dude.
Yeah.
Like just full stock with like the like
Yeah.
cloth covers on the seats.
Yeah. It's like a
Yeah,
Japanese Buick.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Other than that, like never see any Sylvias around. Skylines, uh, RX-7s, like see the old one, but like very, very rare, especially where I am.
What about like the new Supra? Do you see those at all
Uh,
or
not a lot. No, I
interesting? Okay.
think probably just the price point.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
more
yeah,
in
those
like
new 8.6s are
Tokyo.
popular. Yeah. So I don't think they'll be as popular, and I don't think people will really use them for like, they'll use them for like a nice car, not like circuit car, I don't think,
Yeah.
just because they're too expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, already like heaps of people are taking those new 8.6s to the circuit.
That's good.
And then from all like the like a lot of OG dudes are buying them, and they seem to be really good from what everyone's saying. Power's real good, drive nice. And I guess like people have already worked out most of the suspension stuff from the old gen, so it's like it all pretty much bolts in. So
Mm,
going to be the next chassis and very popular, I'd say.
that's good. I just don't want to see like drifting die in Japan. Like I don't want it to like die with the like generation, you know? Like I don't want them to be like
Yeah,
we don't have
right.
any more chassis, like people don't drive here anymore. Cars are expensive, like cuz it's the, you know, it's the place.
Yeah, probably need to change something, or maybe like get in, like start driving those 8.6s, because yeah, obviously like all the old stuff is kind of going and getting more expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think it's cheaper now just to buy a Sylvia, like at this
Yeah.
point, rather than like going through like everything to get one of those other cars set up. Still cheaper to do that, but you know, it's
There
a
will
lot of
be a
money now.
day.
Yeah,
There'll be a day where that switches, and that's probably when you'll start to see more of them.
I think it's like to kind of to set up them to the same level, like it's pretty similar costs right now. So I think people will still go for the Sylvia chassis until it gets like that little bit more where it's not like we're just as stupid to do so.
Right. Hmm.
But yeah, probably the exact same cost to go either way now.
Yeah. And there's supply and demand. Eventually, those will be what's cheaper.
Yeah,
And maybe all the kids will start buying them. I
yeah, I
wonder
think
if
so.
I wonder if takeover culture will ever make it to Japan.
I don't think that one's making it here.
Uh,
Well, maybe you never know. Hope not.
Never know.
But yeah, no, I've actually been keeping an eye on those 86s on auction a bit, and they're still like pretty low kilometers now, so a little bit expensive. But when you find like a high kilometer one, they're like a lot cheaper than a Sylvia. So yes,
Yeah. Start making SR swap kits for them in Japan.
right.
Yeah, I know they make
Oh,
like a K. There's like a K series one, I think.
I actually saw one of those the other week. There was some
Really?
dude, not the other week, like a few months ago now, but
Yeah.
at I went to Central Circuit to like do some grip race in my FD, and there was one of those there, and it was like it just looks normal, like pretty clean. I mean, the dude opened up his bonnet, and it was like a full like K24 swap. So, oh, what?
Uh,
It's like that stuff doesn't really happen in Japan, like
that's
swaps.
cool.
Oh shit, that's
Yeah.
sick.
That's because you guys get all the good motors in the cars that they belong in.
Yeah, so it's like not much point to swap.
Yeah, why swap it?
Yeah, I see. Uh, Yusuf from Brash has been buying a few of those, so pretty
Mhm.
interested to see what he does with that.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make like Arrow, or he's like working on Arrow for it or something, and then I think
Yeah.
he's gonna do K series also. That's
Oh,
what I've
true.
heard. I think I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe I'm not supposed to say that. I don't. I don't know.
Letting out the secrets.
Yeah. I don't know.
But
I
you
don't
know,
know what I'm supposed to say and not say, but should be cool. I think that'd be very cool. K series, like, you know, making the chassis that's like available to people. Cool.
yeah,
Why not?
especially
Um,
like in this area of Japan.
yeah,
I hope they work good
yeah,
because it's like another chassis to move on to.
yeah. Because as your FC gets worth more and more, you're not gonna want to go like run the wall in Mahon with it.
Yeah, well, lucky my one's got no papers, so it's like I can't export it and I can't like sell it as a roadcast. So it's like that's like I was like, yeah, it's kind of like I'm not going to feel guilty like I'm going to lose all this money because it's like just not going to be worth much.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what you do with it.
Yeah, hopefully it works. Hopefully the engine's good. It
And
starts.
just throw another Dorito, spinning Dorito. Fucking, I hate when the people call them Doritos. I don't know why I said that. Throw another Wankle in there, dude. It'd be fine.
Yeah,
Turn up the boost.
yeah.
Um, I think we done like I don't know, almost 3 hours.
Oh shit. It's like
Yeah, dude.
yeah, almost like pretty much on 3 hours. Holy shit.
Yeah. Did we get? Is there anything that we missed? Is there anyone you want to say anything to? Where to find you on social media? Or
I think we pretty much got everything. Yeah, I guess if you're want to look me up on social media or want to buy a car or parts,
yes.
my normal Instagram is Jordo GOGO, and then my business account is Tweed Auto Garage, TWEED, and got a website and all that kind of stuff as well. So, yep, if you're looking for something, send me a message.
And you have like a YouTube channel too, right?
Oh yeah, and I got a YouTube channel too, and that's just my name, Jordan Tweedie. But yeah, have
Yeah.
not been active on that lately because no time and no driving.
I hear that. Dude, thank you
Started
for doing
making
this.
no worries.
I I appreciate your time, and it's always cool to get like good insight on, you know, Japan life and running businesses and driving and all the other good stuff that comes with it. So
man, it was good. And then yeah, hopefully borders open up soon and you can come over and we can hang out and get some driving done.
yeah, some beers, some driving, the best, all the best parts of Japan.
Maybe no more hot dogs.
No, not
Yeah,
doing that again.
I think
It was a one
I've done
time.
that.
Yeah, it was a one and done. All right, dude. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.